This episode on Mob Rules.
How do you manage hobby burnout?
Kill Team reruns.
Thousand Suns cradle to dust.
eBay Price is right from the future.
All that and not much else on
Mob
Rules.
Turn off Phil's input.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It's the only way. It's the only way to keep the outburst from happening. You just get the residual sound from me.
We're trying to start the episode.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Phil, would
I'm
you?
sorry, I didn't know you played. I'm sorry.
No, we did. Pay attention.
I was going to say, welcome to Mob Rules episode 34.
They're all demasculated. Hi, Phil.
And for Ted's benefit, because Ted unfortunately just did a little guest spot last epised because you were so fucking busy.
Oh my god.
Here you go, Ted.
It's done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Is that the part where Sam bricks in his mouth?
I think that's throughout the Hobbit movie.
Oh, okay. It's done. I've come.
The Titanicus ring has been thrown into the into the flaming.
Speaking of
pits
wide rings, no, Ted. So you. Oh, by the way, welcome Mob Rules episode 34. John, with
it's good to see you
Ted,
guys.
Phil.
Phil.
It's been a while. Like a month almost.
So Ted, you had a couple of small things happen. Of course, you had the Titanicus.
We had to play
for as
pretty
well.
tight with this one because there's a lot of things I don't want to talk about.
So before I open my mouth and mention
And
things,
it's about to get
Why
awkward.
don't we let Ted lead this one?
yeah, why don't you lead that one, Ted?
So I had an accident with a dog, and I now have one ball.
That's what he wanted to talk about, people.
I just don't want to talk
You don't
about
even wanna know
Battle
what he
Brothers
didn't wanna
or
talk about.
volunteer management, which is the worst ever. I've done a lot of volunteering, but I've never been a volunteer manager.
Isn't
Holy
it the
shit.
worst?
Oh my god, I had no idea. Like, I mean, I like when I go to tournaments or when I go to like things, and like there'd be the coordinator, like, all right, you have to be here, you have to be there. I just kind of took it for granted. But I think like having skin in the game, and I should know this, like studying economics, like I should know that you have skin in the game. Now you'll have a sense of responsibility. But like you go there, and I'm like trying to get everything lined up, and then all of a sudden I'll have somebody like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it. It's like, what? No, this is contingent on you being here. What are you talking about? You're not
You're
gonna
on
make
the
it.
schedule.
And then
I've got you right here.
Yeah, I have a schedule.
I'm literally looking at it. What are you doing?
Then a few days later, another one's like, yeah, I can't make it. I'm sorry if that really puts you out. No, it does. It does.
It really does.
You're not
Hey,
backing out.
Ted
I'm
popped
sorry.
his own levels.
Hey, it wasn't just me. Yay.
But it's good. I think like after a couple like crying, pouting sessions, I was able to keep a few volunteers together, and I think we had a fairly successful Battle Brothers event. So,
We're just coming out of AK Battle Brothers Year 3. Ted heavily involved with it this year.
Yep.
that was not intended by any stretch.
No.
I'm like, hey, can I do like I want to host Titanicus? Can I do one event? Yeah, sure. Oh, how about workshops? Yeah. Okay, that's great. You want to do more stuff? No. Well, okay, I'm going to get you like a special event coordinator shirt. Wait, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Oh, dude, you got a special shirt?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. Oh. But yeah, we're both coming out of a position where we volunteered to help with 2 separate events, and somehow in the ensuing things got more and more responsibility.
I found out why that is.
Why is
we
that?
actually showed up. I think that's all it takes.
Oh my god, these guys volunteered and showed up.
You came?
Yeah. You completed like twice as much as what most people do when they volunteer for these things. They get through the volunteer part, and it's the showing up part that becomes more of an issue.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So but it was fun. It was a blast. I think you played in. Actually, I think all 3 of us were there, and we all played in completely different events.
Completely different things.
And that was completely planned to get the biggest spread of information about it, obviously.
Yet none of us played Magic. We failed.
Yeah.
Oh, we failed at losing? No.
So I think
No. I succeeded at losing.
Well, you got 4th place in the 40K tournament,
Yeah,
right?
but I lost both the games day 2, like I've done in every single 2-day tournament that I've been in.
But the prize support was ridiculous.
I mean,
wasn't it?
I got some pretty good prize support for it.
Fourth place was better than most first places.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's definitely something he does amazingly well. Is I mean, I think
Bother sponsors. But on the plus side, like I said, we had amazing price support coming in for it there. I think first place was around $400 worth of
Something
stuff.
like that. Never worked it out.
and he had like 6 places too. It wasn't like the first 1, 2, and 3. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I'm so glad it wasn't the first 3.
Yeah.
That would have been it.
Because I think it was originally planned as a 24-person tournament.
Yeah.
They were gonna they were gonna have it at this one. Yeah.
They had a turnout of 10, but fair play to the organizer. They didn't change the price support based
it was
on
awesome.
the turnout,
Yeah.
which was good. So
I had a good time. It was well well TO'd. It was well run. I thought it was a good.
It was
tournament.
Carl
I had a good
down
time.
from Fairbanks, so they brought somebody down from Fairbanks.
Yeah. He came in, and that was the first tournament that he had TO'd.
Every
and
time I see that
job.
guy, I keep thinking Christian Bale, like with a beard. Like I can't not think of that. And like he starts talking, I'm like, hey, it's Batman. Do you get that impression too? Like, I mean, is it hard for you to?
I think someone said like when I was at the 30K Apocalypse table, I was like, hey man, did you go talk to Carl yet? I'm like, oh, the guy bastardizing my culture? No. Oh. I get the feels for kilts.
Oh, that's right.
He was wearing a kilt and going around.
Utila kilt?
Yeah, the Utila kilt.
Yeah, but he was wearing it like a camo one. He wasn't wearing it as he wasn't wearing like the true tartan colors. So.
Oh, that makes it better. You're right.
That's an American tartan.
Yeah,
Like,
American tartan is
American
Carhartt. My clan is Carhartt. So at that event, you ran
around a lot.
Around a lot. But what you eventually signed up for, what we've been talking about the past couple of months, what you've been prepping for, and bothering Ironheart Artisans about, was the Alaskan Titanicus. Or Adeptus Titanicus. Well, tell us about that.
It was a blast. I think it really came down to. That's right, Phil. You played in that, and it was really cool. I'm glad you stuck around after the 40K tournament and played. So I think we had like one game each day. Actually, the second day it was completely dead. I think that we're gonna, if I get suckered into planning again, we might like try to put like more in the evenings on Sunday to kind of keep things popping. But it was, so we had the first game. And it was, I think, like all the buildings. It took forever to get these buildings, and I think, like, when it was all done with, I was like, I didn't get them to the point where I was really happy with them. Like, I didn't finish painting them, but I think they were close enough to where I was content with it.
And most people would be astounded with.
Yeah.
And I also was like, oh man, I need more terrain. But I think when it was out there, I was like, all right, this is enough. Anything more, and it probably would have felt more cluttered. Yeah. But I think we did I thought it was a fun game. It was kind of a it was a Slay the Warlord kind of thing, but So the mechanics are really different. Like it's more like it's something in between like second edition 40K meets X-Wing meets 40K. Would you say?
It seemed like
so you had modifiers to hit and stuff like that, but then you also had turn sequences like in X-Wing based on. Well, did you haven't played? I keep looking like you. Play X-Wing,
I've played a few games.
So there's activations and stuff in X-Wing.
Yeah.
So you move,
Agility
I
and
shoot,
stuff,
I
right?
shoot.
Yeah, and it's based off of agility, right?
Yeah,
that's what this was too.
Or pilot skill.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I forgot.
Same difference, John.
So it was a different like tiers, and then it goes. Your movement goes backwards. So if you have a low movement allowance or a low agility, basically, like you go first, and then people are reacting to you. So the higher, like your Warhounds and your Eldar Titans were gross.
Yeah.
Just like in real 40K.
Oh my gosh! And things move really fast in this game. I mean, like people die really slowly, but like Eldar Titan, I think we had one there. It was the smaller of the two, the Revenant.
Yeah.
Okay, it moves 50 inches. 50 inches. Las cannons shoot 42.
So it's able to jump
inches.
out the way.
Now it goes 50 inches. Now during if you don't shoot, you can move again. So now it goes 100 inches, and then during your assault phase, you can move again, and you don't have to assault with your movement. You can just move, and so there's 150 inches at the end of the day. So you can be wherever the fuck you want to be.
I was running a Revenant Titan, so if I would gone with 3 movements
Reaver.
like that.
You're
Reaver.
Yeah.
Sorry, not
I always get
Reaver,
those two confused too.
Reaver Titan. If I had moved the 3 times, I could have gone 72 inches. Just to put it in comparison, like literally half as far as you could have gone.
And then you have like your
less than half. Yeah.
Also, I think with like your agility, like whatever your rating is, that's how many like 90-degree turns you can take during. Yeah. So I think with the Reaver it's 2, but with the Revenant it's like 5. So you can spin on a dime. If you want, and just be like, wherever the fuck I want to be. So, so we tried like this modified like Slay the Warlord, where you don't know who your point is, who you're after, and that person gets 2 void shields, in addition to what you normally get, and they get. I think they move. We had it so where they move 6 inches less.
Yeah.
But you don't know who it is, so you basically are firing until one of the void shields gets popped, and then you're like, okay, that one shimmered a lot.
That's sort of like an Infinity style, where you're not sure who the lieutenant is.
Yeah. Until you start attacking.
God, we're referencing a lot of
outside games so
Apparently,
far.
this game is literally every war game that's ever been put into one package.
It's a smoothie.
So what kind of movement trays did you use?
So I think like we had, I think on your side you had these two kids that were there.
Yeah.
And I think like right off the bat, like they had shot the warlord, not even realizing it. They were just like, all right, let's shoot at that guy, and like ping, okay. And then thankfully, I think you guys shot at the Eldar Titan. We're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
So
because the way it worked out was our guy that we had decided was going to be our warlord. I was like, all right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to have you kind of holding back over here. He's like, I want to run up and shoot. I'm like, okay, so you will run up and shoot. Sounds good. We'll do this. So then he goes up and he does, and he shoots, and then because of that, he drew a whole lot of fire. So they came down, and they're like, all right, we're going to pling him right there. And they're like, all right, well, now we see that he's your warlord. And we're like, okay, great. And he's like, I'm still going to shoot. And we're like, okay. So then he shot at the Eldar guy because he was the closest one that he could see. And it was like really hard to hit because he has like this like shiver shield thing. So it was like he ended up having to like hit on like a 5+ on a D6 or something like that. And or a 6, even maybe.
Yeah, with his missile launchers, it was a 6 because there's a negative modifier.
Yeah, so he gets it and he rolls and he gets like the 1/6, and it's like boom. It's like, all right, that's our warlord. And we're like,
crap.
Woo, okay. At least we know where you are.
That's not the one we wanted to fight.
Yeah, it's not the one we wanted to shoot, but that's cool.
Oh, that was a blast.
It was.
I think
I had a great time.
Yeah, I was talking to Jean, and I think she like originally I was trying to get this like lined up for Battlezone Ursa, and she was like, "Well, we don't have the space." So that's when I talked to Thomas, and I think like later on I was talking to her about it, and she was like kind of feeling bad that she wasn't able to come with the space. She was like, so I think we might try to angle something for down there at Tier 1, like a late night. And
So it's fun because you're playing.
It really looks
and I don't
good.
know if we've explained this, but you're playing with full size Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Like this isn't like Titanic, like the like the old school game that
we
came
actually
out
had
where
to
it was
take the
tiny
roof off the gymnasium because they're full size.
They're literally
they're
full
larger
size
than
Titans.
a building.
Yeah, so it was a little awkward. We had to get special permission from the FAA to have them in the Skyline.
It's
me-
weird what they can do with the resin these days.
It was a lot.
Your
of
story
resin.
falls apart when it's like 1 foot wouldn't fit in the gymnasium. So why would you bother taking the roof off, sir? Liar.
But I love it. I think like after that,
I mean, how big was the because you were playing on the floor on foam mat? How big was the board?
I think we went with 14 by 14 foot.
So 14 foot by 14 foot.
We were going to go with 16 by 16, but at that point, like, all right, we'll just cut the few off.
Yeah, it was fine. I think 14 was cool. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. No, and it looked great.
Looked fantastic. The buildings were fantastic. The Titans that you had were fantastic. It was a lot of fun.
And the TO was hot.
Yes,
like he was
super
really
hot.
hot.
Like
He must have been
sizzling.
working out,
like sizzling.
Like, nice abs.
Yeah. It's just a shame that he had to not show up and you had to take over for him.
Oh, that's some good burn. So, also at AKBB, you organized a whole bunch of hobby classes, which I thought was super cool. It was like one of the most successful things to come out of the weekend.
Yeah. I think there was I think we might do things a little bit differently because I think like at first, it was good. I think like the first class we had, Carlos's flesh tone class, they got a pretty good turnout, and I think it started to like kind of wane a little bit after that. But then we moved everybody because we had a classroom at first, and people would like come over and they would sit down at the painting table and be like, "Where is is there an instructor going to show up?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh no, he's over here." And after a while, I think we brought everybody over to the painting table and just did it there. There wasn't as good a light, but I think like we'll probably fix that in the future. But yeah, I think like people really got a kick out of it. I just went and played Kill Team with a couple of guys, and one of them was like showing me a purity seal that he had sculpted out of green stuff from that class. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool, and I definitely had people like for days like afterwards like, "Yo, I can't believe it! I learned so much in this this class and that." And so I'm really happy with that. So I think we'll see how that like goes. Like, I want to try slight variations of it to see how like what works better, and then if everything works out, maybe we'll do like just classes. So instead of having like like an event where you can go to your tournament, or you can go to the class and learn how to paint flesh. Like maybe we'll just have just those workshops. So
Like a workshop day or something like that.
Right.
That'd be cool.
like leg day.
Yeah, exactly.
Leg
Don't want
day.
to skip workshop day.
I did. No.
So how was you had a big 30K battle, and this was
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
It
It was super cool.
Yeah.
I have to say, yeah.
It was like an all-day thing.
Yeah, it
One
was an
big
all-day thing.
ass game.
It was, geez.
That
I'll
you
do
really
math
worked up
now.
to.
I did really work up to. It was 28,000 points on the table total. There was 6 Spartan battle tanks on the table.
Oh, jeez.
There was 60 Cataphracti Terminators. There was 3 Dreadclaw drop pods.
We gotta see like an infographic for this.
Oh yeah, it was like I was looking over the table before our lunch break, and I'm like, there is someone's annual salary on this table. It's like just looking up.
The down payment on a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of the big push I needed to get my Imperial Fist done. I've been sitting on them for since before we started this podcast. So over a year I've been sitting on them. So I got 3,500 points painted and based in 3,200 I paid someone to do one of my figures, but in about 2 months, and that was super good for me. The only awful thing is I laid out my army and I looked at it, I'm like, man, this looks good. I like my yellow recipe. It looks warm. It looks good. My Fire Raptor is a different yellow. Fuck you.
Well, it's all the atmospheric pressure. You know? Like,
So yeah, in the skies
have to
it
use
looks
different kind
lighter.
of
It's wear
paint.
and tear, so it has to come through the atmosphere. Yeah.
But yeah, so we had myself with my Imperial Fists. We had Tata with his Salamanders. We had John Miller with his Blood Angels, and we had crap. It's going to be awful now.
Colin.
Danny.
No,
Danny
that's
with
okay.
his White Scars. Yeah.
Right. Those turned out pretty good. I've for the longest time I've seen him play them in primer.
Yeah.
And like now that they're like taking shape, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss that. Like his stuff has always been like when he finishes, like it always looks really good.
Always looks super
really
crisp.
does.
Yeah.
But I think he suffers from the same thing a lot of us do, which is like, ooh, shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like he has his White Scars. I know he's working on looking at Gene Steel Cult as well. And I put in a Forge World order last week. I'm like, hey man, does anyone need anything? He's like, oh yeah, could I get that Secretaria upgrade sprue? I'm like, this Katari upgrade sprue? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I think
Is that what you were like? Hey man, it's not Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or was that Dave? That's
yeah, that's Dave. But so yeah, it was.
Danny has played like half a dozen different armies.
I think he's
and
played
won
every
with,
army
like, every
in
single
every game.
one.
Like for a little inside baseball here, but I'm
yeah,
working.
I have actually no excuse. Like none of us have any excuse that like we can't win at an army.
I know.
I was kind of working on the weekend schedule for next year's Battlezone Ursa convention, but where tournaments would fall and everything. And the one guy I ran everything through was Danny, because he plays literally every single game on that weekend. And I'm like, is this maximum without player overlap? So that was the loyalist side, and we were defending an Imperial an outpost on the Emperor's Palace. And Colin had made this giant outpost.
Yeah. It was cool.
It was huge.
Was it, like about 3 foot by 3
It was
foot.
about 3 foot by 3 foot in foam board, and
And
then
like 2 foot tall, too.
and about 2 foot
Yeah.
tall. The only problem during deployment, I got from Tabletop Combat, which is a scenery company out of the UK, porta potties.
Oh, cool.
8 porta potties. So
Those turn out.
they turned out pretty good. So I painted each of them in Legion colors for each player, and they got to keep them as gifts for taking part in the game.
Cool.
And then I painted one golden, so there was the golden throne.
There was the golden throne.
That's great.
I nearly wet myself when I saw that for the first time, because I knew he had gotten these.
They had porta potties.
I know.
You didn't have to
Seriously,
wet
it was that
yourself.
close. But no, I known he'd gotten the ones that he had done in the Legion colors, and then when I saw the one that was golden, I was like, "Oh my god, it's the golden throne!" And I just lost it.
He lost
I
it.
just Lost
And
it.
for about 5 minutes, it's this like hysterical fill after with "It's a golden throne." But unfortunately, so I placed it on the center of the table on the ground, and then comes like, "Oh no, it goes up here," and he puts it on a platform about 2 feet up in the air, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Then it became an unachievable objective. Yeah, it was just super hard for them to get it. We were able to kind of keep it in there. the opposing side, we had Colin Agnew with his World Eaters, which had like 5 Land Raiders.
There's a lot of land
There was a
raiders.
lot of Land Raiders. We had Nate with his Death Guard. We had Josh Neal with about 7,000 points of Iron Warriors,
Yeah.
including a full Iron Circle, which is about 8 giant bodyguard robots and Perturabo. So yeah, there was 3 Primarchs on the other side of the table. We, on our side of the table, apart from Vulcan, there's not a single Primarch option for any of us. So,
really?
right, none of us had available
Okay.
Primarchs. And
But you have your baby Primarch, though.
I did. And Tada had, I was like, well, I want to take a Foulblade. So he couldn't take a Primarch.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah. But no, it was a really fun battle. It was very fluffy. There was John Miller took Garrow, and there was a Sky Shield landing pad which had an objective on it, and 20 Death Guard missile launchers on there with interceptor pretty much, and he deep struck Garrow right into the center of that blob, and was like, "I'm taking this fucking objective." Or like, okay, because when Garrow lands out of deep strike, you need to 6s to hit him, and he survived.
Oh, jeez.
So he was contesting that objective, and then next turn Mortarion comes out of deep strike, and he moves up to Garrow, and it becomes like fluffy as hell because you have Garrow versus Mortarion 101. Nice. And in any kind of math, Mortarion should crush Garrow very, very quickly and very, very efficiently. 4 turns of combat, four or 5 turns of combat of just pure whiffing hits.
Nice.
And then Sigismund came and very heroically charged in because Sigismund is fantastic in close combat.
Okay.
And then I did a heroic intervention and gently pushed Garrow out of the way and proceeded to murder Mortarion very, very quickly. Sigismund is disgusting in a challenge. If he's not in a challenge, he's just gross. But if he's in a challenge, because he's disgusting. When he's in a challenge, he makes you re-roll your successful invulnerable saves.
Oh, snap.
So
And what is his sword?
it's a strength, I want to say strength 5 or strength 6 AP2 sword.
At striking out initiative, I
And
imagine?
and in challenges it's instant death.
Damn.
So he did some work. My other kind of great moments. Apocalypse games are always games full of great moments.
Yeah.
Another one for me was I had a Tartarus Terminator squad, which had 2 Thunderhammer Storm Shield Bros and a Praetor. He's like the 30k chapter master.
Yeah.
With a Paragon blade, which is this AP2 blade. They got charged by 20 World Eaters, which was like 65 attacks.
Oh, jeez.
They whiffed all of them apart from 2.
Oh, no.
Which he saved. And then he did
he's
2
now been
wounds.
initiated into an orc army.
He did 2 wounds to that squad of 20 World Eaters, and then they proceeded to fail the morale check, and he swept them all. Oh no! I was like, oh.
Marines and 30k, no fear.
Marines and 30k. I know, it's that
know
missing
fear.
that nation know no fear is killer.
Yeah, that's
You never knew
gross.
until you play 30k.
There was a Spartan that had Karn and more World Eaters inside it. So the Karn the Betrayer was there, and then Danny took his bikes and he charged it from one side with melta bombs. I took my Imperial Fist 20-man tactical squad and charged it from the other side and encircled the wagon
Oh, no.
and blew it up. And then, well, I didn't blow it up because I had bolters. Fuck, bolters do nothing. And then, just slowly trying to like, okay, obviously Karn's going to go first, and then just trying to place the World Eaters down so it's more than an inch away from all of these guys encircling. It was a super, super bloody game. Angron took down a knight in 1 turn of combat. He just ran at him pissed off and just smashed him down. Unfortunately, he was right in the middle of the open and in front of a hell of a lot of AP3 weaponry. Is this for me? I don't understand the appeal of playing Marines in 40k. I've tried them a little bit. Phil, I know you're a big Marine player.
Yeah.
But 30k for me, that's a whole. I'm very, very excited for 30k, especially now I have a good base of an army.
Yeah.
To the point where I
I like how
almost
3,500 points is a base of an army.
Yeah.
I have.
Only in 30k is that a base of an army.
Well, my army has no real anti-armor. I was using what's called a Hammerfall Strike Force, so I could buy teleporters for everyone. So everything teleported onto the battlefield. So I started with literally nothing on the table, and Danny did something similar with his White Scars, where they all came on from reserve. And then we're like,
5 minutes for you guys.
yeah, we're like, shit, it's an apocalypse game. So like, we literally spent an hour and 15 minutes doing nothing because we had nothing on the table. But it was a lot of fun. But I didn't have any anti-armor outside of the Spartan, the quad mortars, maybe a little bit. So I need to add in anti-armor. So I've started building missile launcher guys and kind of getting that stuff done. And then like the next day or week, I went to Forge World. I ordered a couple of Sicarans. So I have a Sicaran coming. I have a Sicaran Venator coming. I'm more excited about that one.
Somewhere John Miller's smiling.
But yeah, I'm very excited for the Sicaran Venator. That's kind of the one with the big old fuck you
Neutron
tank
laser.
gun. Yeah, neutron laser or something like that. I just love the model.
I think like I've been playing most of my 30K games are against Tada. And
So against a Fellblade and a bunch of fire drakes.
well, imagine that. So I've been trying to figure out like what it is like to break his special formula, and like tried all sorts of different things. Like the first game we played, like I think I won or tied, I can't remember which, but it's like the Spartan, and you're gonna find this regardless if you play against him or somebody else. Like as you saw, like what'd you say it was, like 6 or 8?
There was
Spartans?
6 on the table.
Yeah, the Spartan is the go-to. Like you don't
Yeah.
not play with a Spartan.
It's like
armor 15 on the front, like with the flare shield, and then ceramite armor. Like, good luck.
so and everyone had their salty moments in the game. Tada's came turn 1. When with the first shot of the game, the traders blew up his Spartan with a D hit, and he's like, "Oh, I guess just remove it from the table," kind of thing. There, yeah.
And I think like I'm not trying to be salty about like Tada, but I think that like it's like I don't want that to come off wrong. But I think like my point is like you have it. It's a different animal. Like 30K is a different animal.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think like the go-tos is like, all right, so I need to change my mindset from like a las cannon is a good weapon to a las cannon is a good auto cannon, and move into something else. And like I think it was like the neutron laser, and like that was kind of like one of the thoughts is like, all right, so it's going to be haywire is going to be key, because haywire is, and like especially with the graviton guns.
Yes.
Like give those to people who can actually like move around and fire them, because it is a heavy weapon and a blast. So like maybe put them on your dreads or whatever. So also look at those neutrons. Look at the what was the big fuck off tank that they had, like the 3 of those neutron lasers in the front. Like,
oh no, that's the Vindicator.
there's the big one.
Yeah,
like,
it's the Vindicator
super
Laser Destroyer.
Yeah.
No, the super heavy.
Yeah, there's a super heavy one.
Oh, I don't know.
And that one, like the nice thing is like strength 10, AP 1, and D's are great, but like when you get strength 10, AP 1, like now like you could take off multiple hull points. And I think with that one, I think the range on it's ridiculous, like 72 inches or something.
Yeah.
And I think it also, shocks the vehicle, so it can't, it's like snap shooting the next turn.
Yeah.
And all this other jazz. So I'd be curious to see like those in action. And
Yeah.
I know like Danny was running a bunch of those, the Vindicator version, like the baby
Yeah,
version
yeah.
of those guys.
Those were gross as well. Yeah, Nate was running one of those.
Aim and kill. So, yeah, I'd be curious to see. Like
Like I said, 30K is a blast. Like my buddy Josh talked about it all the time, and he was like super into it. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll start, yeah, whatever. And now it's a very good game system. Like almost anything can get interceptor very easily. So just a different way to play, and it's off the same basic rule set.
Yeah.
So I had a blast. We ended up winning. We killed all the other Primarchs.
I think like one of the, just to go back to that, like real quick, I think like one of the cool things I thought about 30K, and somebody else brought this up, was that like it's kind of nice that like if they make a change to the army list, it affects everybody. So like everything is balanced inherently because you're all using like the same core list. And what I also find is kind of interesting is like even though it's the same, you're just playing Space Marines, like because each faction has slight tweaks to it, there's still this character to it. So,
and it felt like very very different armies on the table. Like my Imperial Fists, they're shooting bolt weapons at BS5, so they're hitting on 2s. Tada's guys have -1 to their charge and -1 to their run, I think, because they're salamanders and they're slow for some reason. So I mean, it all felt very. But you're right; it's all off that same basic list. But you can make an infinite variety of flavor out of it. So like I said, I'm very excited to kind of get back into there once I get some more anti-armor, because I cannot I cannot penetrate.
So we're going to be changing our format to 30K?
Yeah. No.
Phil, keep up.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, keep up. Go by 30K Army.
Just wake me when we get back to 40K. Okay.
I did. Yeah. I did add to my Eldar army as well, though, in the past, gearing up for LVO.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that a little later on once
Okay.
we're done with our AKBB stuff. Because Phil, oh yeah, we won, killed all the Primarchs. Veterans with sniper, fuck the world. They're amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no veterans. Okay, so I'm sorry, jump in there. So I had like
We were
got the
almost
excitement
done
bug.
with
I know,
30K.
I was like,
I had like these.
We're going to hit stop so we can go to the next segment.
We had like 2 10-man veteran squads, and veterans you can give like different almost tactics or abilities. And I chose marksman, which gives them all sniper. So I had bolt weapons that were hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s.
Ooh, that's nice.
And they took down the Iron Circle by wounds. It took like 4 wounds off of Perturabo. It was very lucky, admittedly, but it's just like the thought of that was very, very good, and they were very cheap.
Oh.
Do they get
that's a
the
good
points
the
wise.
quasi-rending on 6s as well for that?
No.
Oh, just the.
Well, sniper, I think you
That's
get
what I
that.
was
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You
that's
always,
what I was wondering.
No, I
that's a
don't
universal
believe
rule.
so. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
It's a universal rule. So if
Sure.
you didn't, then God damn it, John.
I know. Whatever, I still won.
So suck it.
Yes, suck
Could
it.
have won faster. Won faster, win bitter.
Phil, you continued to ignore the narrative and went uber competitive.
Yeah,
and
you know
played
me.
in the
It's-
competitive
Yeah,
tournament.
just totally competitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I competed in the 40K tournament. And continued my streak of doing super well day 1 of a 2-day tournament, and then doing horribly on day 2 of a 2-day tournament. So I think I'm yet to win a single game on the day 2 of a 2-day tournament. So that's not a great streak to keep, but it's one that I have. So.
Yeah.
And you got second place for painting.
I did get second place
Yeah.
for painting. That was exciting because
Which was nice.
You still owe me $10 for
I
that.
do.
Because I
The
think
checks in the mail.
I think was in first place a commissioned army.
No,
No.
it was Matt Enons.
Yeah,
Man won first
but
place.
'cause there was like because he had like a backboard and some other things with it, which
Yeah.
is cool. I totally got
No,
it. But
'cause,
I was
yeah.
pretty excited because I feel like my painting's coming.
It's
definitely
getting
coming along,
good,
which
yeah.
is cool. So that was kind of a little bit of extra like oomph to my feelings like I can do it. So yeah, it was cool because I ran my Death Watch guys and
With
I
the
ran-
Land Raider.
with the Land
In
Raider.
competitive
You haven't done that in a
40K.
while, have
That's
you?
right. I haven't. Well, because what happened was I was putting together my Death Watch guys, and I was like, cool. I've got this like 10-man vet squad, and I've got my watch captain. This is going to be sweet. And then they're just going to foot slog it across and just get destroyed before they can do anything. I'm like, I need some kind of
yeah.
transport. So I've bought the Black Star, the Corvus Black Star, and but I was like, I've got a week. I am not going to be able to build and paint this thing in a week.
And
I was like,
produce like 4 battle reports.
yeah, and produce battle reports, and get everything else ready, and
Go to your job.
rebase and go to my job, and rebase my entire army, like I decided to do that
jeez.
week. Yeah, so I was like, all right, so what can I do? I'm like, well, I've got this second Land Raider that I had primed, ready to go back in 6th edition,
And
Dark
it's already
Angels.
Death Watch colored.
Yeah, well, no, it was primed with like a
Jello.
Like a, yes, Jello. Sorry,
Okay.
yes, it was primed with Jello.
Semen.
No, it was primed with like a parchment color.
Oh, okay.
Semen.
So yes, semen, exactly. So I was like, you know what? I can probably paint these. They can take these. I just need something that can get them across the board so they can do anything.
Sure.
So I scraped off all of the Dark Angel bits that I had glued onto it, and then
Oh, my God.
primed it and painted it the way I've been painting my Deathwatch army. And it came out. I mean, I like it. I think it came out pretty good. All the scrape marks I just turned into battle damage.
That was
So-
cool.
Yeah,
it looked,
that was pretty cool,
really
right? Yeah,
convincing.
thought it
I
was
mean,
pretty
just
Weathering.
imagine that scratch marks look like scratch marks
Yeah,
when you're done.
exactly. Who knew?
They fought Tyranids. It's fine.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like after I did, after I scraped them off, I'm like, that looks like shit. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And I'm like, well, I mean, these are Land Raiders, right? These guys have seen some shit, right?
Fighting Xenos.
Yeah,
We've
these
seen some
Xenos-
shit.
Xenos claws, they've seen some shit. Just like my scouts with the wide eyes, just like, oh my god, man, I've seen some things you don't even know.
Most of them are back
Yeah,
on the barge.
Exactly. Exactly, mostly back on the barge. And it's like, do you know what they do to guys who turn around and run away? Who know some fear? Do you know what they do to guys who know fear?
Change the subject. Change
You
the
don't even
subject.
want to know, man. You don't even want to know. After seeing that, I know no other fear. That's how they do it, actually.
And you thought they were castrated.
Yeah, exactly. So I ran my Death Watch dudes with my Land Raider, and then I ran a Skyhammer Annihilation Force and a bunch of and a Ravenwing Strike Force. So it was fun. Day 1 went really well. I won both my games on that one, like really well and tied for first leading out of day one. And then I...
as is tradition.
Yeah, as is tradition, like way up there, top 4. And then day 2, I ran into 2 Nurgle armies, which are the bane of my competitive existence.
Yeah, you and Nurgle don't have a good relationship whatsoever.
How'd that grav work?
Yeah, I didn't have as much grab this time,
okay.
but they just found other ways to destroy me, like getting off powers. So suddenly... their knight is invisible, so if you're trying to hit them, you're hitting on 6s. It's like
hi,
5s.
Colin.
It's like hi, Colin. Thank you. And then or then I'm playing off against where a flying demon prince with the gets a 3-up invul save, followed by like a 4-up feel no pain. So everything that I was trying to hit him with wasn't doing jack all to it.
You know, I'm really excited about Kill Team. Like, one of the things I'm excited about it is no flying monsters.
Yes, that is wonderful.
This is why Tyranids don't work in Kill Team. Regardless of what our listeners have sent me and what they've said otherwise, they do not work in Kill Team.
We'll see what happens next. Not actually, I think maybe this coming
Oh, I'm sorry. Find out if Tyranids work in Kill Team this coming Friday.
Well, actually, it came out because this
today.
This comes out Friday.
This came out today,
even though it's Sunday.
So yeah, even though it's not Sunday right now.
Competition.
Oh, God,
Because say competition. Spoilers, they don't.
We're picking the 4th wall.
This is
Never
live.
been done
This is
before.
live.
This is live. They think it's live. But yeah, the battle report that came out, or Kill Team battle report that came out today.
Yeah. By the way, if you think this is live, just kill yourself. As Phil's YouTube comments say, kill yourself.
As a YouTube commenter would say, kill yourself. No, yeah, but you can see what they do against the Death Watch. So, I guess spoiler alert. There's a reason I kept going with it.
And that's what happened when we don't turn the iPad down.
Oh, God. Thankfully, listeners won't have to deal with that, but oh my God, that just destroyed me. I'm already deaf as it is.
Oh, man, that was worth it just for that alone.
What?
Suck it.
Huh?
All right, I'm going to go bleed, so we'll cut to a break.
Won't see you.
Man, ladies kept checking their drinks. Thanks, Bill Cosby.
Hey, buddy, have you tried chocolate? It's a natural aphrodisiac that doesn't trigger any of the FBI's chemical tests.
Wow. Thanks, guy.
Where are you going?
To the grocery store.
Chocolate for that special lady that doesn't know she's special. Yet.
Oh, man. That was a nice break.
That was a good break.
Okay, so I guess what I want to touch on real quick is something we've been talking about this week, or even the last couple of months between me and Ted.
Yeah.
And I'm sure someone feels it all the time as well, doing weekly videos. Hobby burnout.
Soon to be bi-weekly videos.
Yeah.
Starting this week.
Oh, guys.
2 a week. Yeah.
That's bananas.
Yeah.
It is little bananas. Little bananas.
So guys, how do you
Wait till you have a kid.
I know, Ted, you have a kid. I have kids. Phil has a dog, I think.
Yeah.
A very understanding new wife.
Yeah.
How do you deal with hobby burnout?
Drugs.
Lots of
drugs.
alcohol. Yeah.
Lots of drugs.
All right, so anyway, on to the next subject, right?
Well, no, because I was thinking about it, and I've gone from getting an army ready for a state tournament, because I think the state tournament we had to have everything painted.
Yes.
And then went on from that to having to have a fully painted heresy army. Mm-hmm. Now I'm after that looking at having to have a fully painted Elder army for LVO, on top of podcast, and then also my Age of Sigmar stuff, and also all those other kind of things like you have out there.
Yeah.
And at some point you're like, my wife jokes with me like, "What are you bitching about?" I was like, "I have another 20 fucking Bolter Marines to paint." Yeah. She's like, "You enjoy this," and I'm like, "I do enjoy this, but at the same time, I've already painted 50 Bolter Marines."
Yeah.
So yeah, what kind of stuff do we do to kind of keep the happy flowing?
Honestly, I think I think that there hasn't been so much like a conscious effort or conscious trick, I guess. But I think there's definitely been times where I'm like, all right, fucking done. Okay, put this in a box.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. I'm going to learn to play bass. And
Yeah.
and then I buy a bass guitar, and then I realize that I have to get it set up, and so I give it to the music store to get it set up, and then I'm like, well, fuck, that was supposed to be my hobby to replace that, and now I have to wait a few weeks. Well, I may as well put the models back out and paint. So now I have two hobbies again instead of just one. But I think that so anyway, I think there's getting yourself a little bit of break is good, of course. Sometimes it could be like a break within the hobby, not necessarily going and starting a surf rock band.
I was going to say, Ted's top tip for avoiding hobby burnout: start a surf rock band.
The world will be a better place, in my opinion. But hopefully less Kanye.
Bullet point 1. Start a surf rock band.
There would be so many bad 40K pun band names.
I would be so jazzed about that. Like that would make my day. Like I don't think I've seen another 40K based surf rock band. I think we were the only one that had a 40K related. Anyway.
That's like that's the weirdest boast. Like no one else makes 40K themed techno EDM music in Alaska.
You know, when you absolutely need that, and nothing else will do.
Yeah, you never know.
So anyway, just download our intro song and play it on repeat.
Yes.
Get that itch scratched.
Yeah, royalty free music does not have any good orc themed music to start out a battle report with.
So I think like a few things like possible, like going from, if you're just working on your yellow marines, and you should know this, like you have your yellow marines, and now I'm going to try Tyranids because it's fucking different, and I don't have to be crisp, but I can just like dunk them in the toilet. And
well, thanks for commenting on the paint job I did on my Tyranids.
I was going to say use the swirly technique. I mean, I'm looking out for you. I'm not saying you're a total Luddite.
So wait, no, I agree with you though, and that's one of the reasons I went with Eldar for my army for LVO, knowing I have to fully paint another army. Mm-hmm. It's like I need a break from power armor. I mean, I want to keep my Marines going, but I need a break. I need to paint in quote-unquote easy squad, and I'm sorry, Eldar, but Guardians are really easy.
So instead of power armor, you decided to go with Elvish power armor.
Elvish power armor. But this
totally different.
This time they're red. This time they're red.
There we go.
And they're covered in gems, which I will not each individually pick out.
Gosh.
But yeah, having a break, like I found I can only paint really by batch painting.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm like, oh god, another. I start from the beginning where I'll put on a TV show in the background, and I usually do about 10 at a time. But for her, I did 40 at a time.
Gross.
And you kind of just keep going. But once I'm done with that batch painting and they're all done, I reward myself with a special
Hand
model.
job. Oh,
Well, after a hand job. But so like
here's what you can.
That's in between. That's in between colors.
so I painted 40.
Speaking of the Land Raider,
I painted 40 Marines and I rewarded myself. I painted a Wraith Knight because it was completely different. The aesthetic was different, and it kind of gave me that little refresh. To kind of keep going. Okay, let's go back. Let's paint a Spartan. Which thank God the tracks are a part of that kit now, and they're not separate.
I still have the pain.
It was so easy to put together.
Shut up.
Phil,
Yes,
you're an insanely positive person.
I try to be.
You're irritatingly so at times.
We often talk about this one.
I was going to say. There seemed to be a lot of understanding of that.
You must have had some times though when you're just like, oh, fuck this green armor.
Yeah, I have had that many, many times. And to be honest, the only way I can get through, like that I get past it, is there's two different ways. One is have a reason to paint it. So always find a different reason. So it's like, all right, well, Sates is coming up. I'm going to try to run a different list. So now I need to paint like this big chunk of models that I've never run before. Or, this other tournament's coming up and I need to have it fully painted. Or over the summer I'm going up to Fairbanks to go play in one of their tournaments that aren't paint requirement. But if I'm going to make the damn trip up to Fairbanks from here, I'm sure as hell going to show up like,
Yeah, we're going to
rocking
make that
it
trip
and
next year.
making it look good. It's fun.
I'm going to piggyback in there next year.
Those guys up there are a lot of fun. I had a great time.
like it.
They are super great.
We're taking my big old truck and head on up.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I find reasons to paint. So it's not just, it's like, oh, well, I would like to have this painted. I'm like, I need to have this painted, And with me, I have a lot of battle reports that I film, and it's like, well, if I want to have new models that I want to have on this battle report so I can, because every once in a while you get a commenter, it's like, oh, can you try a different list because you run that same thing all the time? And it's like, all
also
right.
kill yourself?
Yeah. Those are usually different
Do
people.
you even know how grab works?
Yeah.
You can't fire 2 guns out of a rhino?
Yeah. Different people, but yes, they're both on there. All those people are on there.
Or
but,
troll bot accounts.
Yeah. But yeah, I look for reasons to paint it. So not just because I'm not just painting because I like to paint. And as much as I enjoy getting a nicely painted model, there are definitely times when you've got like all of these primed plastic models on your desk and you're like, oh God, I can't paint anymore. And then you're like, no, I have to paint. I want to get this done for this battle report that I've got coming up. Oh, I want to get this done for this tournament that's coming up. And I just make a reason, even if it's not required because of the tournament, even if it's not required because of whatever, even if I don't need to bring those models, I make it a need in my head. So I'm like, I need to have these done by this time to make sure it happens, and that's gets me to the table.
That's kind of interesting because I'm looking at like like the achievements that you like your achievements, and then like looking back at like John's recent like 30K and like how unfortunately how I do things.
Yeah,
and I think like when you paint it's smaller batches.
Yeah.
Than 60 Marines.
Yeah,
and it's
Never
also
again.
and I think like when you do it you might be batching like 5 guys at a time.
Yeah.
But it's also for the most part it seems like their color schemes are. It's green, and now that you're breaking it to black, but like for the longest time it was just green. So like I think in a way like that's like where if I'm bored painting like my flesh terrors, I'm going to go work on a commission. I take it back. I work on commissions and I use my flesh terrors.
When he's steadily painting his commissions at a very fast pace at a reasonable cost.
There's there's definitely like I have more of a break, and I think like with John's 8 armies, he has a break. So, but I think that's kind of interesting that you would say that.
Yeah,
because
and that's kind of and you're right. You're absolutely right, because there have been times when I've just been doing my Dark Angels where I'm like, F this, I can't paint another green model. This is going to kill me if I do. And I've had to take breaks where I've just been like, nope, I'm going to go read a 40K novel, or I'm going to go watch a movie or a TV show and not paint because I need to.
Good
not
point.
do it.
I mean, I think a lot of times when I take a break, I usually go lay on the bed and play
we don't
SimCity.
want to know what you do in the bed. Okay.
He's quote unquote playing SimCity. Looks like he's raising a fire station, boys.
And another dog went missing in the neighborhood. But I think that one thing that I really enjoyed is when we were reading some of the novels, that was kind of excitement too. Like that kind of built the hype to go back. So I can see that's also
and that's and you're right. That's another thing is I look for inspiration for what I want to do in different venues. So I will read a 40K novel and read the fluff and read these stories and get this vision in my mind of this awesome battle going on and being like, oh man, I want to do that, but I need another 3 bikers. All right, well, let's go paint up those other 3 bikers because I need to make this happen. Or you're reading through and you're like, oh, that would be so cool. Could you imagine just 40 Terminators just dropping in on somebody? And it's like, well, then I need to paint 20 more Terminators, so I will paint these 20 more Terminators.
From 30K
to make it cool.
experience, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
fields of power armor.
on part of that, I have some more self-control than some, but I've definitely been holding on to the idea that the Iron Hands need to have 2 Thunderhawks in order to have the list in the Wrath of Iron.
Yeah,
and they had it all lined up.
Also going to do 3.
It's been eating at me.
3 Warhounds crouching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So at least I have Tada, so I can be like, all right, you're gonna sub in as my Legio.
You'll be my Legio Tada.
Yeah, exactly. And thankfully he's buying a Warlord. So.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Oh wait, no, he bought the third-party Warlord.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant an actual one. Oh my god,
the one that looks like. Well, I think
really
it's just
cool.
as big.
Yeah,
and
it's super cool.
Bigger. It's actually bigger.
It's a super cool third-party.
It's probably
Warlord.
another 8 inches taller.
Yeah, it's based off of the he was telling me the original ones. Yeah, the ones they had in the old comics. So it looks super cool.
Yeah, I think what is it, the Lucius pattern? I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
So it's like a blockier. I think they made the Warhound that's discontinued.
Yeah.
It's kind of in that same blocky kind of feel. Oh, it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And that's something else that you guys are touching on as well, is kind
there
of
were horrible
searching.
people buying third-party models.
Oh no, they're gorgeous models. So screw that. Don't ever feel bad about buying third party. It's some great looking stuff there. Unless you play solely in a Games Workshop store, then feel bad about buying third party because manager probably won't let it happen.
Or if you're only doing it because it's cheaper.
Yeah, then feel bad about it then. But
well, I remember looking back, before they came out with a Warlord Titan. The scale.
Yeah.
I think the Forge World scale is a little bit short, for what it should be. And I think that's kind of one of the nice things about this third-party one is that it's more to scale.
Yeah.
So
well, for your Titanicus next year, I'm dressing up as an Emperor class Titan.
I joked about that. I said I was going to go in as an Emperor class Titan.
So we'll be one on one side, Phil on the other. We'll just be pushing each other.
This all of a sudden looks like a Power Rangers episode.
We're going to call this Legio Mobcast.
You guys in film suits smashing through $1,200 worth of terrain.
I was going to say, we're going to have Ted make the terrain again with cardboard so we can smash through it.
Roll on the stomp table.
I rolled a 6 for a fuck you.
God, Ted has been crying under that table for a while.
Has
looks
anyone
like a
called
bitch.
security?
He's like rolling in the fetal position. I didn't switch out the terrain. I didn't switch out the terrain.
Guys, wait, I can't hear you in the suit. Then how did you respond to me? I don't know.
I just remember, kind of moving back on topic here. But
Don't do
How
that, John.
dare
Don't do
you?
that.
I know.
Commissar John coming back in.
Searching for inspiration
Yeah.
definitely gets you kind of back into it, because
Yeah.
I've been in a funk and I'm like, oh well, shit, that sucks, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll still be browsing. I still like kind of I incredibly hugely go through 40K Facebook pages and
Yep.
websites, Pinterest, and
Yeah.
I'm huge in for 40K. And I found this thing about how to do gems. And I'm like, oh yeah, let's do that. And I over gemmed my wraith now. I'll be the first to admit that.
No
There's
such
like
thing as over
there's
gemming.
like 2 dead souls solely responsible for moving an ankle joint.
I think Colin
yeah.
Wingo and I were like riffing on that. That was hilarious.
No. Those Eldar are the Liberace of the grimdark future.
Like, I control the wrist. But that really inspired me to get back to it. Like, oh yeah, I can do that, and that seems simple enough.
Yeah.
And then seeing some of the artwork out there, and instead of reading the stories, kind of like reigniting that inspiration. Because I think it's all easy for us. We all play the game, and we all enjoy the background and the story and everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes we kind of lose sight of that, and are
Yeah.
just drowned in, oh, this is my to-do pile.
Yeah.
And then just kind of reigniting that through the fiction, through the what other people are doing.
Because the thing is, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I didn't get locked into this simply because of moving around things on a table. Like if I wanted to do that, I just play a board game. You know what I mean? I got locked into this because of the fluff, because of the grimdark future, and that's what grabbed onto me and nabbed me. And it's like these ideas of these 9 foot
I have a
tall
presidential candidate for
I know,
you.
seriously, yeah. These 9 foot tall superhumans going and punching like giant space cucarachas in the face. Like that's awesome. Like that's so cool. Like to think about it, like just like these guys just like battling it out with like these giant monsters, or these like this wave of orcs just like coming at these guys as they're just like mowing them down. Like that is what grabbed me. You know what I mean? And then I want to paint the models because I want to imagine my dudes being the ones out there holding the line for humanity against there. So if you sometimes I think it becomes easy to get overwhelmed by this massive plastic that you have to paint. And if you can bring it back to what it was, to this idea of you're painting them so that they can become part of the larger narrative of the grimdark future, it becomes you get re-energized to do it, where it's like, I'm not just painting a plastic dude, I'm painting a plastic dude to go do battle in the future in the 41st millennium. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So to recap, if you're burnt out, I want to go through the list of ways we decided the best thing to go. So you get re-inspired. You kind of find out why you started playing again in the first place.
Yes.
Kind of get re-inspired by other people's work, history, novel. You get yourself a reason to paint. Do you have a tournament coming up? Do you have a game that you want everything painted for?
You're trying to impress some
Yeah.
chicks.
You're trying to impress
yeah.
some chicks with your sweet paint
yeah,
skills.
do you just have a friendly game coming up in
Yeah.
2 weeks that you just want to play with your friend and make something look better than some, the gray hordes on the table? Just find a reason.
Chicks
Yeah.
don't like gray hordes.
They
no,
don't.
chicks.
Literally every chick
Yeah.
has told me that.
Yeah.
Like-
In the world.
Yeah, in the world. I've been in contact with
They would
all
be
of
like,
them.
I would sleep with you and I love you, but you have a gray horde. And you're like, I have a fully painted armor. You have a gray horde.
That was that chick in Lima that was telling
Yeah.
Phil that, wasn't it?
Exactly,
I
yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
Or was that Moscow?
One or the other.
Okay.
Whatever one charged him less. Take a break for something else. So if you're painting the same thing over and over and over and over again, move on to something else.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's worked for me with
Yeah.
the
So-
Death Watch stuff. It really energized me to paint again because it was just something different. I know it's power armored dudes, but they're black armored power armored dudes versus the green armored power armored dudes, and there's a different fluff to them and different guns that they're holding and stuff like that. But yeah, like just doing something a little bit different, finding that little
Yeah.
from that.
And finally, and most importantly, you start a 40K themed surf rock band.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
because
definitely
that is
that's the
pretty
one
important.
everyone needs to do. That's the one everyone needs.
I
to
was going
figure
to end this on a different note, but that just did it.
I mean, that's the point,
I had
yeah.
nothing on that.
That's not surf rock.
out. That's
No,
not surf
all right.
rock.
There we go.
There we go.
Still not surf rock, but that's good enough.
It's close enough for someone who doesn't know.
A groovy
It's
bass
pretty
line.
groovy.
A groovy
It's
bass
basic.
line.
It's still 40K themed. Oh, sorry. So you wanted to end it on surf rock?
No, I didn't, but now I do. That's great. That's good.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to touch briefly on Kill Team again.
Oh.
Ted didn't get to give us his thoughts on Kill Team
yeah.
last time. And it'll give me and Phil time to jizz hugely over the table over how amazing Kill Team
Gush
is.
a little over it.
We'll go over some of
Synchronized
the... that's an Olympic event, sir. And it'll give
It
us,
will be if I have anything to say about it.
we'll go
by
over
Ron
some of the
Jeremy.
lists we got sent, some of the lists we played against, and kind of see what works, what doesn't for Kill Team. Kill Team.
Robo Girly Man here, calling in from Stasis. Do you have a problem procreating for the Emperor? As an Astartes who's been chemically neutered, I understand. A lot of people across the Imperium are suffering from the same disorder. I'm here to tell you that the Emperor has a better solution than snorting ground-up Turvagon shell. What we have devised is an easy two-step solution. Every morning, wake up, look in the mirror, and say, "Fuck you, Chaos." It's their fault anyway. Then look down at your jabang bangs and say, "For the Emperor." In those two easy steps, you too will be able to blame Chaos for your impotence. If only the Space Marines could do the same. Thanks, Dad. Now get out there and procreate for the Emperor. But remember, if it comes out funny, exterminatus that mutie. This has been Robo Girly Man. Whatever the Emperor's will is, be sure we'll find you out.
I ain't talking.
What? Oh, hey. How you doing? It's good to be back.
Yes.
Yeah, hey, yes,
Yes, it is.
Yeah, how's that weather out there?
Cold as
A
shit.
little windy.
Started to snow.
It's bizarre. Like I think I mentioned this like coming in. Like Alaska has become a very different place ever since we legalized weed. Like it was bizarre. Like coming into a neighborhood and having like the whole neighborhood smell like pot.
Yeah.
It was, having like gone to a mini
I
concert.
live in a rental college street. I own my house, but
Yeah.
a lot of other people rent theirs out to college kids, and it smells that way.
It's just interesting.
But they're respectful. They're quiet. They don't party too loud. The loudest guy on my street plays drums,
Oh, okay.
but I think he's like our age. so-
Automatically qualifies as the loudest, no matter what.
Oh, absolutely.
True. There's a reason I play drums. Loud people are supposed to play
not.
drums.
Yeah. So Kill Team.
Kill Team, yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about this in depth last time. We mainly went over the same point over and over again about how amazing it is, and it's so amazing.
I wanted to actually end the last segment saying that one way to get energized about painting again was Kill Team.
There you go. Yes,
So that
totally.
that was it.
Yeah, that would be a totally awesome way to do that.
Yeah.
Find a 200-point army, a 200-point list that you don't normally run in your 1850 lists, and paint it.
Well, I think like part of it was that you get to take time and think about what you're doing with each person potentially. Mm-hmm. I mean, not that anybody does that, but you run that potential. Like if you're just doing it for Kill Team, like sit down and do something thoughtful.
Yeah, you got 200 points that you have to paint as opposed to 1,850 points that you have to paint. Yeah, for sure.
I think so. I played 3 games today.
Ooh,
Dang,
who did you play today?
I played Tada, Dave, Tada.
Oh, nice.
It's a good spread. Well, at least there's no Spartans there.
Yeah, no Spartans, no flying monstrous creatures. Like, it was, and I played 2 different lists. And I think the first one I played was my hard list. Like I went in there and I was like, all right, well, I brought 2 lists. I got my fun list, and I got my dick list. And I was like, "You ready, Dave?" And I figured I'd just play the softball list with Dave. And he's like, "I'm not going to play you." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "All right, I'm going to play Tada." Like, "Oh, Tada always wins. I'm going to play my dick list." And he's like, "What? Wait a second. You just barely win. I mean, I only barely win our games." Like, yeah, well, I know, but I'm frustrated with that. So, and I. Oh my god! I didn't realize. Like I knew my list was gonna be really hard, but once it happened, and I only took 1 wound. I didn't lose a model. I took a wound, and he lost everything.
Gross.
Like I was like, oh shit! I'm so
So
sorry.
what did you take? What was your dick list?
6 Def Coptas.
I looked at that.
6
I looked at that.
Well, I think like the key is that like nothing is better than 3-up armor. So you're at AP3, like you're at strength 8. So if you like most people playing Marines, so you're wounding on 2s, and you're doubling out if somebody has like feel no pain, like if but and also like you could potentially pop anything, and then you start throwing like the specialties on there, like Bane of Vehicles, which was one of them that I threw on there. And then, of course, you can do like feel no pain and everything else. But then, if somebody does come at you, you have your 4-up save. You have 2 wounds per guy.
Yeah.
You could be wherever the hell you want to be when you want to be there. And on top of that, you can jink.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I think that was one of the things
individually,
when I played against Phil with my orc list, which was just nothing but war bikes. It's the same kind of thing where, while I'm toughness 5,
Warp
Yeah.
bikes.
the warp bikes.
The Bork bikes.
The Bork spikes. Well, they're toughness 5. They can jank. They have a twin-linked gun.
Yeah.
For orcs, they're strength 5
You're
guns.
actually hitting stuff.
So you're actually hitting stuff. And yeah, just that mobility and able to do that. It was disgusting. I think orcs rule and kill team.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Because I think they're cheap enough that you can bring.
It was 30 points. I was actually at 180 points. I had 20 points left over. That I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
And still. So,
Yeah.
And that's 10% of your army.
Yeah.
It's just like, fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah. You had 8. What was it? 8?
6.
Yeah, that's gross.
And not only that, they have a hit and run.
Oh.
So I mean, you get
locked
locked in there. Like you're not. One thought was like I would drop one and give two guys basically power claws. They have the buzz saws.
Yeah.
But I think at that point, like, I'd rather just have like extra strength ADP3 twin link missiles.
Such hard choices.
So it was rough. And then I think like the second game I actually played against Dave, who had like a bunch of. He's playing Raven Guard. And that was hard. That was really tough because I think like the first turn he starts with Shrouded, and then I think we started with Night Fight, and then like everything else is like, and then we played like a lot of cover. And it was like 4-up as it were, and they're like, oh, if you're in cover, it's a 2-up. Oh my god! And so like my strength 8 AP3 became las rifles.
Yeah.
So that game turned out different, and I used a lot of hit and run.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
I was all about that, and I was very happy. I switched up to dice; it didn't roll very well. Like, I made my initiative ed right away. Then I think the third game, I switched it up to do my fun list, which was 5 Plague Marines in a Rhino, and that was. Yeah, that was brutal too.
Yeah.
Like I played against Tada again, and he used a lot of Melta, and I think he was really excited about the Melta. He's like, "Yeah, I could double you out." And I'm like, "Oh, that's no."
But it's
not
so
really.
expensive, though. Is the thing.
They are 24 points a guy, but I think they just lasted forever. He killed one guy before I tabled him, and he popped a Rhino. So it was tough. I think like you throw in the specialties. Like I don't remember specialties being this crazy in last edition.
Yeah.
But
I think it's really good, though.
Yeah.
No,
It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, when I gave a Melta gun Eagle Eye so it could shoot 18 inches with a 9-inch
Jeez.
Melta range,
Yeah.
that became a multi-Melta that you can walk around with. It was great.
Yep.
So
I think in future, the best thing to do, though, is to pick those before the battle. Because I know, Phil, when we played, you were kind of at the table. And okay, well, this guy's going to have this. Is going to, but that way I can get to look at your army and be like, okay, so you have this guy, so I'm going to counteract with that one. Mm-hmm. But I think it would be better if you did it beforehand and as part of your list.
I think there's something to that, because I remember like when we asked, like the last game we played, the first two I knew what I had, like I was going to do. Mm-hmm. I think this last one I kind of pick and chose, because I think there's one of them I would have gone with Bane of Vehicles, and like, whoa, wait a second, I think it was the second game we were going to play. Like, oh, you're all doing all Raven Guard and jump packs. Nah, I'm not going to do that. So I switched it out. I still lost, but it was that does seem kind of cheesy. Like all of a sudden now I'm going to put in my a different adapter kit. Hold on, guys.
Plug and play Marines. Forget how to not die with Eternal Warrior and instead have a longer shooting.
It became like Shadowrun, where you just or the Matrix. Like, all right, learn kung fu.
Like, whoa, I don't feel no pain.
Whoa, I have no cover.
I can fuck up buildings. Yeah.
But it's a great experience. We got sent a few lists. One of our listeners, Eric, sent us a ton of Tau lists.
Yeah.
He really likes Tau.
His Kroot thing was really interesting. I hadn't really thought much about Kroot in a while.
What I like about it is every list we've been sent by everyone, and every list I've played against, and every list we've seen has been very thematic. People are getting really into the theme. They're not min-maxing. They're not cheesing or anything like that. I think the closest I came is when I tried to play Phil with 5 scouts and a Calidus assassin. But
That's
even
why we didn't play that.
but even then, to me, that was like I had fluff to back that up. I had theme. I know why that was there. That was like the scouts just doing a routine patrol, and the Calidus using the confusion of the battle to go in and do the stuff. It didn't really work because I was playing against like Deathwatch, and they don't usually assassinate Deathwatch. But yeah, all of the lists I'm seeing are coming out really well. So for his crew list, He had 10 Kroot, 6 Kroot Hounds, 3 Krootalks Riders, and a Shaper. Which sounds very fluffy. I want to be honest, I know jack shit about Kroot. I know they don't survive well to Burnas. That's what I know.
Thankfully, they don't have to pack up. So,
yeah, and then of course he asking questions about our local meta, being like, "Hey, if you allow Forge World, try that." And we're just like, "Oh, the Anchorage meta, where Forge World is mandatory."
Yeah. Yeah, not even just accepted, but mandatory.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, I'd love to let you play this list, but there's no resin in this at all.
There's a guy locally who plays or is playing Tyranids, and he's super positive and he's super pumped. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna do this." I was like, "Yeah, you probably want to throw in a Malanthrope in there, or maybe Stonecrusher Carnifex. Forge World's pretty mandatory to make Tyranids competitive." And he's like, "Nah, I got this. This is great. We're gonna do amazing. Tyranids are gonna kill all." And I'm like, "Oh, I want to crush your hopes and dreams, man." Maybe after a couple games.
Yeah.
But yeah, Phil, what have you played against?
I've played against a bunch. I played against an Imperial Guard unit, Imperial Guard, where he had like an entire platoon that he was able to bring in 200 points. Yeah, it was fantastic. Like the ability to bring all this different stuff. We had I've had bike on bike action where I had some 5 of my Black Knights against a 5-man White Scars command squad, which was fantastic. Fun to run those two against each other. I've run up against, as you've seen, I've run up against some Chaos Space Marines, some Tau with basically Fire Warriors and some and a like a Wave Serpent in there. Not Wave Serpent. No, not Wave Serpent. What's the one that the Devilfish?
Devilfish.
Is it Devilfish?
Yeah.
Is that the Tau one?
yeah.
Yeah. And we had
It's like the Wave Serpent, but slow.
yeah,
And not as well armored.
It's like a Tau
with a
version
worse
of
gun.
yeah. Then I've run up against. We've had yours with the Borker Boys and the Tyranids.
I will say, out of the two lists I ran against you, I thought the Tyranids was like, "Oh man, this is a mean one to run." You know, large multi-wound creatures that did all this other stuff.
Yeah, it was mean, but I happened to run a pretty brutal list myself,
that
which was
Death
Watch
Watch
one.
is brutal.
So we'll watch the battle report and see what happened. That was
Yeah, no,
was
that's
fun
spoilers.
to
No
run.
spoilers.
Kind of like
spoilers, but
using
yeah,
the
no.
Stern Guard kind of concept, right?
Basically,
Where, like,
they're just veterans, and you can fit them with whatever weapons.
Yeah.
You want.
Well,
And
I
had
mean,
it-
like the effectiveness. It was like being able to swap between different ammo and so on.
Yeah,
Is that
that-
where you-
the
yeah, I
ammo
ran a
killed
lot
me.
of the special. I ran with the special guns, so I had 2 guys with Infernus heavy bolters, and I
Okay.
had 2
Those
guys.
are fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Were they?
And I had 2 guys with
they can go eat a
the
dick.
frag cannon. And 2 guys with
not
frag
nice.
cannon. Yeah.
Oh, they can go eat dick too. I'm not
guys
saying it's
with
bad
frag
if that's your
Oh,
thing.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a negative thing. It's gross.
Yeah. It was pretty gross.
Yeah.
That
pretty
frag
gross.
cannon's like really universal. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
utility is like
It's
dual
great.
purpose,
It's
right?
Oh, I'm
fantastic
within
'cause
9 inches, so I guess it's going to be strength 9, AP 1. Oh, okay.
And then it's like, oh, there's a whole horde of you guys, and 2 shots won't do much. Well, good thing these guys have a template version as well. That's Assault 2 as well. Oh yeah, by the way, this big heavy weapon, it's Assault.
Oh, with
my
this heavy bolter?
Yeah,
That's a
Assault.
flamer. That's a flamer.
It's also a flamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty of those is that they're like you said, they're super versatile. Which
Oh,
is,
yeah. Absolutely.
Which I've been finding a lot of fun because I've been running into the problem with a lot of my Dark Angels where I make a list and it's like if you come at me with any kind of armor, I can tear you to shreds, and then you run at me with a whole bunch of demons, and I'm gonna go cry in a corner because I've got nothing that can handle that. I don't have the horde. I can either shoot. I can make lists that are really good against vehicles and monstrous creatures, or I can make I have a hard time making lists against hordes. I'm not gonna lie,
okay.
but these seem like they have the ability to handle both, which I mean is very fluffy to them because they're supposed to be able to go in there and handle whatever they find, which is great. But yeah, the ability to handle both hordes and super big nasties.
Do you even
is
Thunderfire
great.
Cannon, bro?
Yeah, I know. Seriously, no, I don't because we don't have access to them as a Dark
But
Angel.
you also don't have access to a Skyhammer. Yeah, it's surprisingly you have one in your list.
but there's nothing in the Dark Angels list that looks like a Thunderfire cannon. So, just Dark Angel Thunderfire cannons.
Yeah, convert it, bro.
Come on,
Convert
bro. Come on, bro. But yeah, I've found the thing that I've really enjoyed about it is, like you said, the ability to get really fluffy and really versatile with it. Really different kinds of lists that you get to run again. Because there's a lot of these things that you probably wouldn't think to run. You know what I mean? Like Assault Marines are suddenly become really good in this because if they can just spread out and move really fast and just get you where they want you to be,
And that's
They're
fluffy
good.
as fuck.
And that's super fluffy as fuck. Like, that's what they're meant to do. Like, that's how they're supposed to. You have
No, bunch up, right? You.
Yeah. You know,
Back
it into
yeah, it's
information.
like everybody stand together, jump together, land together, now walk together, now charge together. You know what I mean?
It's like high-tech double dash.
Yeah, seriously. You know, it's like we're back in like the Revolutionary War times. We're like, line up, now jump, now land, now shoot, now charge. You know, like
Shot at and die.
Like, do you know why Perkins died in that difficult terrain?
Yeah.
He did not jump when we jumped.
he jumped out of sync. So yeah, it's like this is the whole thing.
Oh god.
So it's really cool.
So-
This where you can see how they're just like shooting off in different directions. Like I got this, I got this, and running around. It's fun to be able to just run things differently.
We'll be talking about the Burning of Prospero box later, but I will be picking one up of those. I'll be making some more Imperial Fists. One of them will have a twirly mustache.
Perfect.
Chronicle.
Yeah. Raise bolters.
Yeah, can he be holding like a cup of tea with like a pinky out?
Yes, for I have those third-party hands.
Yeah.
That's right. You could turn like the pointer finger upside down.
Yeah, exactly. The point
It's
is,
like the pinky.
Oh man. But yeah, so I'm definitely playing more Kill Team.
Yes.
You know what I found out, and this is a little off topic a little bit. We went into winter hours at my work, so I actually the latest I get off on Sundays is 9 p.m. now, and our local
congrats.
gaming store doesn't close until midnight.
Wow.
So that makes me
play
games. Advertising
I will
that you're available.
I will actually be available to play games.
hey
which
now, hey now.
I'm heading to Vegas, so I better learn how to play before.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I know this is a little bit of a side plug, but I'm actually going to start this week doing Kill Team matches on Fridays. So I'll have full-length battle reports on Mondays and Kill Teams on Fridays, just because it's so much fun. I want to do them, and I just, I know people want to. Thanks, but I mean, it's just there's so much fun, and people want to play them, and that's what I kind of want to.
I'm just helping your plug, man.
It's totally being pulled out here. But I freaking love Kill Team. I think it's a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of people too up here in Anchorage that have almost
Bitten
liked
the Kill
playing
Team
it better
bug.
than they like playing the regular 40K.
Well, I think it goes to hobby burnout in a lot of ways.
True.
Like,
Yeah.
just
True.
mix shit up.
Yeah,
Mix it up.
there you go. And that's a good reason to get back into, like, if you
Just don't start a new game system.
yeah.
Don't start Infinity.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, Sterling.
But no, and it's great because you can literally go out and buy like $40 in miniatures.
Yeah.
And there's your Kill Team.
Oh yeah.
So like
buy one box of
if you're saying
one tactical Marine squad, and you've got 40.
well, even if you're sitting
get
playing
200
Dark
bucks.
Angels and you're pitting Dark Angels and you add some Death Watch, but it's still Marines, you go out and buy like one box of Tau Fire Warriors.
Yep.
You're like, I have a Kill Team for this
I have a
now.
Kill Team for this now. Exactly. You go out and buy one of those get started boxes, and you're going to have a Kill Team that you can.
You got a
build
couple
one
kill
of those
teams, yeah.
Well, unless you're Eldar, you can't fill the Fire Prism.
Or
Well,
Blood
there's-
Angels, and you can't fill
Well, yeah,
any
you
of
can't
that.
feel. You can't feel all of it. But I'm
Space
just saying,
Marines
there's
and
some
you
of it you can feel, like the tactical.
No,
like,
that was
most
a
of them
bad idea.
That was a bad idea,
Bad
Phil.
idea.
Bad idea.
Don't be stupid on air. What?
Don't be
They come with
stupid, Phil.
tactical Marines.
So you get all the other
The
shit. so you
Eldar
can-
Star
Yeah,
collecting
I
box
can
is like 130 points all in.
All right. Well, sorry. Yeah. That's what I get for trying to be helpful.
Yeah, don't be that.
Wah, 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 wah.
That's a good
All
idea.
right, I'm gonna go in the corner. Put
right,
on my
you
Dungeon
okay.
Scout.
So we're gonna go kick Phil into the corner. We're gonna come on back.
We're gonna burn Prospero.
We're gonna
Right.
burn Prospero down, and we're gonna make up lies about a Bjorn Fell-handed model.
Oh,
Such salt, such salt.
Such salt.
Gynecomastia is a myth, and so is gout. Ever met somebody with gout? I thought so. Why do we know much about these? Because we are soy. It is our job to know about your body. What we do know is, soy is a complete protein that can replace animal protein. It is a great dietary fiber, and can reduce your LDL and triglycerides. We also know that if you develop man boobs, it is not our fault. It is your dad's. Soy milk. It's not as bad as they say.
Yeah. Oh, I was just tweeting.
You were
Let me
tweeting.
just say,
Uh-huh.
I won all social media because I got an email notification that I am now followed by Tezon Day, which would be the gentleman responsible for the
Chocolate Rain?
Rain song.
He's following you?
Shit.
Is
He's
he a
also
40K
following
fan?
he's also following like 244,000 other people.
Oh, okay.
But
you said something
But
that
the
got
fact
his
that you
attention.
got followed.
yeah,
by
no,
it-
because I'm going through my email. So usually if I open at work, I'm sitting there. It's like 5 a.m. in the morning. There's fuck all to do.
Yeah.
There's plenty to do, boss. Please don't fire me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like checking my email, and like I was like Twitter follows like, oh, Tezon is following you, and I'm like, is that the Chocolate Rain guy?
Wow.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You know, what'd be really cool. Like this is we gotta make this a goal. I read a Reddit with Ken Bone. He is massive on Twitter. So if
Do
we can
you
get Ken
know
Bone to follow
that
us-
he did not use a throwaway for that? Ask me anything he did. Because there was a big
What's a throwaway?
like
Because I don't read.
Okay, so
Reddits.
Reddit, you have usually two accounts. You have your regular account, which you do like
Oh,
where you
yeah,
support,
yeah, 'cause-
and then you have your one where you do your dirty stuff on.
Yeah, somebody said something about like
They-
how it was
they
like,
went
whoa,
th-
this is like your actual account.
Yeah, so they went through his post history. Ken Bone is like this like hero from a presidential debate over here. If you're in a different country, and
Which I think is just because of his name and his sweater.
yeah, he had an amazing sweater, and he's called Ken Bone. That was literally internet and stuff. But they went through his post history, and he admitted to committing insurance fraud. He commented on a bunch of gone wild pictures of naked ladies. All kinds of stuff. And
Oh, wow.
you got to throw away, bud. If you're suddenly an internet celebrity with like 15 minutes of fame,
All got to change.
yeah, you got to do real Ken Bone AMA as your Reddit name.
I have to say though, after reading his AMA, having nothing to do with Prospero, like he seems like a really cool guy. Like
for sure.
I think
That's what I've heard.
He seems really awesome.
But-
even though he likes naked women,
Oh my god. Anyway,
Wait,
I got something.
Girls Gone Wild.
Gross. No, I know. Sorry.
Rowdy.
I got something for this.
What? I don't.
We're talking about the burning of Prospero.
Oh, all right.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't
What
like
does
a.
this have to do with
it
naked
wasn't
ladies?
like a campfire. But
Maybe that's what it is.
maybe
Well,
that's actually what it was. Maybe they
We're
were
just
like,
here
sitting
where like
around.
the Space Wolves are trying to figure out how to rub two sticks together, and they can't quite figure out fire yet. So they're like, oh, grr! And they're getting very irritated, so they just
Yeah.
have little ambers.
Or maybe what it was that they were actually making s'mores, and the burning of Prospero was
They
he accidentally
accidentally
burned the marshmallow, and then
Oh,
that just
man.
caused the schism.
That made Magnus red.
Yeah, exactly. That made Magnus red. He was like, I don't like my marshmallows burnt!
That's how he really lost his eye.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was. The flung a
with a
flaming...
skewer, with a skewer from a s'more.
He just created a story about Zinch.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it was crazy. You should have been
I
there.
swear it wasn't marshmallow related. That's what you said last time about the testicle.
Whoa, now.
Yeah, Magnus, the one eye, one balls. Very rad.
One eye, one
He,
ball flying
he
superhero.
only wants one ball, whatever it is of each. He just wants one of each.
Just one, please.
So
Anyway,
everyone is losing their shit about this
Yeah.
Horus Heresy Battle for Prospero or Burning of Prospero box. The successor, I guess, the son of Betrayal at Calth. This is kind of the last on the list of things that were rumored to happen for 40K this year, being, of course, Gene Stealer cults.
There's one more.
What
Like,
was
the
that?
biggest kit that they've ever made.
Oh, biggest kid
supposedly.
they ever made is coming.
But that one I haven't heard anything on in a
No,
while.
so the Gene Stealer
this
cult
is-
came, the Death Watch came, Burning of Prospero came. Well, I don't think they mentioned it being Burning of Prospero. They just said there would be another Horus Heresy box.
Yeah.
But it was this amazing. Oh, and
And it
Demon
wasn't supposed to be
Primarchs.
Cal. Oh, right. So we might see Magnus the Red.
That is no, we will see.
Well, I mean, this
Yeah.
year. I don't
Yeah.
know.
oh,
It's
yeah,
this year.
I
Next.
don't know if it's
But
maybe early next
it's
year.
an amazing. I mean, just the stuff that's happening right now is very, very exciting.
There's a blackout scheduled, I think, for the end of
That's Blood
November.
Bowl.
What's that?
Blood Bowl.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
But,
Maybe.
but yeah, I don't know.
News
like,
broke here. I have no proof, and I just read it on a forum online. But Mob Rules breaks it.
Yeah.
Blood Bowl, end of November.
Get out of the way, Rob Bear.
Yeah. Find out more here.
Yeah,
Click your phone.
yeah. Click your phone.
Click your phone.
Click right now. Click right
Sponsor
there.
my Patron. I'll send you free minis.
So I thought this was kind of fun. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I've always Thousand Sons have always been my second favorite faction after Death Guard. But unfortunately, like, it was so hard to come up with an army with them because they were just so. I mean, you had to buy the upgrade sprues,
Yeah.
and like once you bought the upgrade sprues, it was the same 5 heads. Like,
Yeah.
you just like wash, rinse, repeat.
Well, that's because they got sued by Egypt.
Yeah, unfortunately, back in the day, like when I was thinking about it, like they didn't have, like all the third-party people that are doing stuff.
Yeah.
You can't go to eBay, which there's some amazing mods coming out of those third parties. So, only the real time machine. But anyway, I thought like going back through the fluff. I mean, there's some things that were like, okay, well, yeah, we all knew that, but there were some that I think some context that I hadn't quite got. Like, I almost kind of see these guys as like after this, I kind of see them as like the Tao of chaos.
Wait,
But we should get into that later. But
you can't draw.
no, that's-
like I see these guys as this, and I'm like, how does that work?
but we'll get there after you click here.
Sponsor my Patron.
So the
It's Patreon, John, right? You know that, right?
No, it's sponsored by Patron habit. That's we don't have a patron. I have a Patron habit though.
So,
right, just
so
making sure.
all the Thousand Suns and all the Primarchs have kind of come into existence a little bit differently, right?
Yeah.
Like I think in a way Magnus was the most unique, right?
Because he was red.
He was red.
He was left out in the sun.
He was the tallest.
Apparently, he
was
had
a
only one testicle,
Monster.
from what I've
He
heard.
only one testicle, according
He
to
had
mob
mighty-
rules.
That's what I've heard. I just
He
heard
had
from
mighty
some guy.
nipple horns.
Yeah, some guy said.
But also, he had been talking with the Emperor the entire time. So prior to even being found, like he and the Emperor have been like, "Yo, what's up? How you doing? How you feeling?"
What's up, brah?
So they've been tweeting.
So this goes back to kind of our episode when we talked about the Emperor and how much of a massive dick he was,
Yeah.
and how he was terrible space dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, using psychic powers to talk to Magnus the whole time.
Yeah.
And, you know, finding him via psychic powers and then being like, hey, bro, yeah, no, stop it, knock it off. No psychic. That's how we talk, Dad. No psychic powers.
There's a lot of inconsistencies, I think, like with the approach that the two of them took. I mean, well, not so much like Magnus, but yeah, Space Dad.
Space Dad. Yeah.
But also, I think that like he's one of the few Primarchs that he wasn't.
That
he
was
wasn't a war
117, so you can fix Phil's levels.
Oh, okay.
Space Dad.
So he wasn't a war master like a lot of the other Primarchs, right? Like he chose diplomacy and dialogue and
Nipple horns.
forcing people to do shit with his mind.
Lame nerd.
Well, yeah, nerd is like, yeah, he chose diplomacy and making people do things with his mind. Like, hey, can you do this? No, do this now. I will do this now.
Yeah, I would like you to do this. No.
Starting to
Really?
sound like the Tao of Chaos by any chance? just to start?
So your your argument hinges on the space communist fish like to use diplomacy, and as
no,
does Magnus.
this is a start. This is a
Oh,
start.
okay, wait, I'm going to take notes.
Yeah.
Space fish.
We still have to get to his super suit that he likes
Yeah.
to wear.
So they, so when he gets, so he goes up through the ranks. Like Prospero is a world made of. I remember like some of you-
Salt.
It is made. It's like a whole bunch of outsiders, a whole bunch of
Flammable
psychers,
balsa
it's a whole bunch
wood.
of. It's the land of misfit toys. Like it's this place. It's salty misfit toys.
Yeah.
So we have all the psychics that were like running because they were mutants and trying to avoid the Imperium. All go to Prospero. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's totally a backwards planet.
It's like the
Like
Alaska
the Tao
of-
Empire.
It's like the
the
Alaska
Tao
of the
Empire.
40K.
And they were allowed to establish themselves. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But no fish though.
No fish.
It was the opposite of fish. Opposite. There were very few of the waters.
Yeah.
I like my theory that it was made of balsa wood, like a cheap 1950s movie set. So all the giant pyramids look really good from one angle, and then inside.
That's
Yeah,
why they had to burn it down.
let's burn it down. Tell us more, Papa Ted.
You guys gotta do your homework, Robin.
No, we're here because we look good. Not because we think
On our
good.
audio podcast. So he meets the Emperor. They get along quite well. They give each other a big hug instead of like being a big contest. Is like, all right, I'm going to show you I'm your father by beating the shit out of you, which is how I introduce my son every morning.
After reading all that 40K fluff, what you do is while your son's sleeping, you send him out to a random place, and then
If he makes it back, he's strong enough to continue.
For Sparta.
Sparta. I'm sorry, I mean for the Empire.
then he's given his own legion of teddy bears.
So he finds the Emperor. They give each other a big hug. The Emperor takes him back and gives him a legion. The legion already is for the predominantly psychers. He calls them the Thousand Sons, and all of them are now they're kind of different than they were. They were called student aspirants. aspirants. That's like a headache remedy.
Like, aspiring students. So they're not students yet, but they hope to be soon.
Right.
Yeah. They're taking the tour of campus, but they hope to enroll
they haven't
next
declared
semester.
yet.
Yeah.
They're just getting through preschool.
Yeah.
They're just about to start.
It's like, note to self, college jokes work well with two guys who work at a college.
And instead of chapters, they have fellowships. So they kind of break away a little bit. Otherwise, like the relying more heavily on librarians, that for the most part, organization-wise, it's codex. Prior codex.
Yeah.
So,
Pre-codex codex.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Pretty legit.
So then they go off. They do their Great Crusade thing and all that jazz. But they also find that there's a flesh change. Have you read about that?
No, like literally, this is story time with Papa Tad. And I'm
Very
enjoying.
interesting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. I think, like, I mean, you're seeing this theme in a lot of chapters. Like you have the the Curse of the Wolf with the Space Wolves, where like you eventually turn into a Frisian wolf or whatever.
There are no wolves on Venice.
That's right. That's right.
That's been updated to make it like the wolf guy from Twilight. They all look like Jacob now.
And then you have Blood Angels. They get all black ragey.
That's been updated to be like Edward from Twilight.
There's all of them.
Memphis just sparkles.
No, I was gonna say, damn it! I was gonna say all Space Marines sparkle
And
now.
then he has a really uncomfortable relationship with a 17-year-old girl when he's 1,000 years old.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Great granddaddy issues.
Yeah.
It's okay. Their mom consented. Or their attorneys did. One of the two. He had enough money.
But you're right. Yeah, there's all these different. Anyway, I'm sorry, Ted. We totally derailed you.
Getting distracted by
Seriously,
Twilight.
yeah. Oh God.
God, we
That's
are
embarrassing.
interested. Our role is to throw in jokes at this bar here.
It's usually my job.
I know this is
I
incredible.
know.
I hate it.
I hate it. I hate it, and I hate you.
So they go off. They do their thing. I think a lot of people, like the flesh change, is starting to consume a lot of the people. So as they're utilizing the warp, and the emperor is like, please, guys, calm down with that. Calm down, please, calm down with that warp thing. And he's like, yo, man, I'm totally changing, like taking all these worlds back. We're not even with minimal effort. We're converting them. Everything's fine. Like it's the warp. The warp is dope, man. Yo, it's cool. It's like a druggie.
Chill, Dad. Chill.
He's like, no, man, I'm not
a
an addict.
plan.
I'm not addicted.
He's like, chill out. It's a plan. It's natural.
The warp comes from the ground. Nothing bad can come from the ground.
I only use the warp recreationally. It's cool.
I can stop using the warp anytime I want, Dad.
And then Ezekiel over there pop into a spawn. That's great. So they don't realize what is chaos yet, and so like you're starting to see these mutations. And what's actually happening is like after a while they get using the warp too much. They turn into a chaos spawn. So all of a sudden, boop.
Oh shit! So
Jebediah
just like in the
spawn.
middle of the battlefield, it's just like boop.
Yeah, so they had I think they had on one of their campaigns, they end up, I think them and the Space Wolves were tackling some world, and after a while, like they were losing casualties, but they ended up losing, I think it was like 10% of their entire chapter to the flesh change. And they actually went back and they're like, well, this is fucked up. And instead of saying like, all right, maybe the warp is bad, they were just like, we're just going to restructure and we're going to only be 9 chapters.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe if
just
we
fucking ignore that fact that shit's going down.
Yeah.
Maybe if we use the warp more, then this won't happen.
So everybody's kind of noticing this, and they're like, "Hey, Papa Space Daddy, these guys are a little funny. They're starting to do funny things. He had like 3 eyes and like 12 testicles, and we're eunuchs. I don't know how that
Magnus was really sad about that one.
Yeah. He was like, oh man.
Give me 1, you have 11 spare.
Yeah.
I just want 1. There will not be 2. And so we had the Council of Nicaea, right? You've heard about that.
Right, the Council of IKEA.
IKEA, where everybody gets together and they're like, all right, so
Everyone tried to assemble
this-
their own legions, and it didn't go well because it didn't come with proper instructions.
but at least it was
And
priced
only-
reasonably.
Yeah, but it was totally reasonable.
Unless you try to buy it out of state, and then the shipping will kill you.
It's a terrible joke, but that's the reason some fell to chaos, because they were missing some parts in chromosomes.
Exactly.
They're a little bitter.
They lost that little Allen wrench thing, and they just couldn't do it from there on out.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
It's all particle board for it anyway.
Gilliman
balsa wood, it's all
Gilliman stole all of the all of the Allen wrenches.
And he took the extra shells from your kit for his.
And he scattered the Allen wrenches across the galaxy. The Emperor had to go find him.
That's the lesser-known IKEA Great Crusade.
I have a quote from Gilliman about that.
During the deal, pray I don't alter it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Gilliman. That's not Vader. That is Rebute Gilliman.
So we see one of his boys kind of rise up. We saw Ahriman, who's like one of the strongest psychers that the Legion had ever seen, start to rise up. And this is about the same time, a little bit before the IKEA happens.
Yeah. Keep the jokes. We're going to consistency.
And so when everybody's called forth, they have that discussion. Like, Magnus is really pushing. Like, look, we were able to do things. We were able to do great things. But the Space Wolves, I think it was Ferris and a few other people were like, nah, man, we got to tone this down. You got to cut you off from the whole psychic thing.
Yeah.
And up until this point, I think the Emperor had been kind of biting his lip. Now he's like, no, okay, you guys are done. Cut it off.
Yeah.
And so Magnus and Ahriman go back. Ahriman is pissed. Magnus, who's generally pretty diplomatic, and like, yeah, okay, it's cool. All right, whatever happens, happens. And they're kind of like, all right, well, let's go ahead and keep using this shit because it's hella dope. But like, let's just.
But we can seriously stop anytime we want.
Well, we're just not going to use when we're around other.
So they're like functional alcoholics of the warp.
The Space Wolves ain't cool, man. So we're just gonna.
How
gonna
come
keep
those guys
chill
keep
when they're around?
Those guys keep disappearing into their space barge? What the fuck is going on?
They vomit into themselves to become spawn.
That doesn't look like weed smoke coming out of there.
We can't take this position. Oh, I got that. Don't look. Oh, okay. That tag's gone. Oh, it's gone so good.
Oh god.
So at this point, we've the Thousand Sons had already been working with the Space Wolves, and the Space Wolves hate the Thousand Sons. They kind of look at them like pussies. The Thousand Sons, on the other hand, hate the Space Wolves because the Space Wolves will go and just slaughter a planet with like no holds barred and just take them to town. Whereas
Like a true servant of the Emperor.
like a great American. Where the Thousand Sons will go in and be like, "Hey guys, like chill with this here. We're gonna give you taxpayer education. We're gonna give you like all this thing, and you're just gonna like it. Oh, okay, all right, we'll take it over."
Sorry, this is what Space Wolves do. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
So they've kind of had this like tenuous relationship, and there was, I think, at one point like they came head to head, and I think the word bearers had to step in and like break it up. Like, whoa, guys, whoa, hey,
And when it's the guys mainly fucking with chaos that are stepping in to break you up.
you know you've gotten on the slippery slope.
Yeah.
So then they go off. So IKEA happens. They come back. I can't even say IKEA anymore. It's
Good. As is intended.
It's like death by overkill. So they go back home. They're trying to figure all this out. I think at this point, Magnus realizes that chaos, or that Horus is going to turn on him. So last minute, he's like, "Well, shit, we need to talk to the Emperor," and he does that one fatal thing.
He breaks Space Dad's toy collection.
He does. He breaks it. So he jumps in there, jumps into the warp, and like tries to go and tell Dad, and breaks through all of Dad's safety nets, and gets in there, and then all this chaos starts flooding Terra, and Dad is upset. Magnus is like, "Oh shit, sorry, Dad, I broke your house," and he immediately leaves in shame as he was noticed by his dad. Like there was no.
I think it's the equivalent of your kid running in to tell you that Tata bought a new Super Heavy, but in doing so pushed your entire army off the table to do so.
Yeah.
The intention was good. He is warning of a very real danger, but he's kind of ruined all of your time in free space for the next couple of minutes.
So, yeah. So he rushes back. The Emperor has to fight off, along with the custodes and everybody else, like fight off the chaos. And now it's like, well, fuck. All right. So he goes and sends a message out to the Space Wolves, which doesn't quite get there. It gets to Horus. Horus intercepts it. The message was, go in, grab Magnus, bring him back here, and we're going to spank his butt. The way Horus relays it is, go and kill Magnus.
Goddamn.
And Russ is like, okay.
Yeah.
Done.
Done and done.
He shaves off his beard.
Burn.
Local Uncle Sal for our Space Wolf players is like literally. I mean, they released that gorgeous like Russ model. He looks amazing. It's very dynamic. It looks great. And there's a bunch of people online that's like, "Where's his beard?"
Yeah.
It's like he's never had a beard,
Why doesn't he have a sleigh?
but he's a Space Wolf.
Yeah, where's his sleigh?
Where's the space wolf sleigh?
Where's the Space Wolf sleigh?
Logan had it.
Lame.
I actually I'm missing a step. Just for a moment, like I think they did. Magnus did try to quell the whole psychic thing with his legion. He made a deal with somebody he didn't realize was a chaos god to put a damper.
Wait, what? so again, because I
As
did
is want to happen from time to time.
I did
when
all
they
of
make
this
deals at a
research.
crossroads.
He was hanging out behind 7-Eleven, and there was a really nice gentleman there. And he's like, "Hi, I have a problem with my legion. Can you help me fix it?" "Yeah, sure. We can get rid of that chaos thing for you, but I need your eye." And he's like, "All right, that's cool."
that seems like a reasonable deal.
Tell you
What
what,
was your
I'll
name
take,
again?
I'll take care of your legion and make you a blues superstar, all for the one low price of your eye.
And I will give you musical skills for a testicle.
Yeah, he's like, excellent. So that's how Magnus became.
This kind of reminds me
The
of like
blues
that
traveler
Adventure
that he
Time
is.
episode
Yeah.
when Finn got like magic rings.
Exactly. Yeah,
Or no, it was magic powers.
yeah the magic powers.
Dude, we got magic powers. And then ruined everything.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Zinch comes down.
So Zinch is like, I mean, we're still at this point, he's still like hanging back. He's like, all right, well, we just fixed the psychic thing. It doesn't fully work, but they're able to hold it back. They're able to get rid of the flesh change. It gets rid of the eye. And now all of a sudden the sky is darkened with drop pods. It's pretty obvious at that point. Arimon's like, we're fucked. Magnus tells Arimon, like, all right, man, I'm going to be back here. Not with you guys. I'm going to be back in my cathedral watching YouTube. So you go ahead and take care of this, but don't fight.
Yeah.
Don't fight. When they come, just be chill. I'll be over here, away from all that.
I'm definitely not doing any warp.
Doing more.
We got to take it care of. We went to rehab.
Yeah, he was busy keeping up on all of the the leaked images of his demon Primarch, and he's like, oh damn, what's with the nipples?
So while Magnus Winehouse was in the back,
He mounted his mighty nipple horns and went to meet the Space Wolves.
so the Space Wolves show up. Arimon's like, fuck that. We're going toe to toe. And then all of a sudden there's a ginormous battle between the Space Wolves and the Thousand Suns. They just jump right into it for the most part.
Yeah, and the box name is like a giant spoiler alert.
It all goes down. Like eventually Magnus comes out and is like, "What the fuck, guys?"
Whoa! Magnus came out.
He pulls his tunic back up.
Like,
I love you, Russ.
shit.
1,000 Tumblr fan fictions later.
I'd ship it.
Arimon has just been like running the show. He'd actually found there was another guy named, I think there was a Space Wolf called like Weird Mech or something like that, who apparently had met him in the warp, and it turns out that like he was as big a psyker as Arimon was. And they actually became friends for a second during this battle. This goes over a longer period than just all of a sudden one day, but I don't want to bore you with all the other stuff. So they go
Get to the burning tent.
So Magnus Winehouse comes out. He's like, "Yo, what? No, none of this. This is bad. What are you guys doing?" And I think it was Russ is like, "You cage match, bitch," and they go toe to toe. They do lots of fighting. Magnus pokes out his other eye. Russ pokes out Magnus's other eye. I think Magnus I don't know. He does something.
He just
to him.
didn't
He
see it
breaks his
coming.
arm or something.
Oh.
Some shit. Like
I just imagine the fight where his depth perception is so awful, he's missing Russ by like 3 feet in front of him.
Eventually, Russ breaks him over his knee,
I will break you.
just banes him.
I was gonna say banes him. Yeah.
Oh, it's Ivan Dragoing him.
And that was about it. At that point, he's dying, and he's like, "All right, invoke the what was it?" He pulls out the Matrix. He pulls out the Matrix, and it's their final hour, and they all get zapped into the warp. So
With
the
my last
Thousand
breath,
Suns,
I curse Zoidberg. Zoom.
the Thousand Suns, and their temple fly into the warp, and it's the silver tower. Basically, they call this. I think it's a city of light,
Yeah.
and it ends up becoming a beacon in the warp.
And so all of the 1,000 Suns and Broken Magnus just peace out.
Boom.
and just disappear and leave the Space Wolves to burn the Balsa Wood Prospero.
And they try to torch everything. They're like, all right, your library, everything must go. Like everything that has to do with 1,000 Suns is gone.
Heresy. That's super cool. I knew some of that. So when did
I knew none of that. That was awesome.
So
now you don't have to read the book.
Yeah. Well, now I'm done. Cool.
at what point do they become piles of salt and armor?
So now we go into the warp. They're still having a problem with that whole flesh change thing. Ahriman and Magnus are like, this is not working out. We're losing our guys every time we go and try to raid Fenris.
Yeah.
Like the teenagers.
Not their best idea.
They're losing people to the flesh change more than they are to Space Wolves. So they're like, all right, we're going to do the, I believe it was the rubric of... Oh, God, I can't remember.
The rubric of Ahriman.
Yeah, there we go. And they're like, all right, so we're just going to... stopgap. We need to end this real quick. If you have psychic powers, you get to keep your soul. Everybody else gets fused to your armor and your fucking automaton.
What?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
no,
that's
like
not what you said when we were leaving into the war.
Did I leave that part out? Sorry, yo.
That's like that Family Guy thing with Chris. He was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds quite reasonable," and we'll just have to what?
The psychers become super psychers, and everybody else just become toads. So now we're raiding Fenris because we're upset.
Well, we can be upset. But, I mean, you can be upset at the government, but you're not going to go raid on the White House because you're just not equipped to do it at this point because you're being fucking broken. But they actually went to raid Fenris.
So they've raided it twice. I think there was the 13th Crusade. I think they raided it at one point then, and I think there was another time when they raided it. They had, I think at this point Russ is gone. Like he just like peaced out at one point. He's like, I had a vision. Boop, out. And everybody like, I think he went into the warp to find. I don't know what he did. I don't know what's going on, but that has nothing to do with 1,000 Suns. I think he went to go find some artifact or something like that. But anyway, or he thought he was going to die. But that's a completely different thing.
The Emperor threw a ball and he had to go chase it.
So
I got it.
He's a toad.
His beard got caught.
There's actually a changeling pretended to throw a ball and he just took off. He's still looking for it.
Not only Dark Angels are fooled by changelings. Fluff burn.
So right around the 32nd millennia, we have I think I can't remember who the chapter master is at that point for the Space Wolves, but the 1,000 Suns goat him away from the planet. Like, hey, look, we're starting a battle over here. Hey, look over here. Okay, should be snack. And they go and take it on. And the only guy who's left is I'm sorry. There's like the lieutenant. I can't remember his name. The second in command for the Space Wolves at that point. So they go and raid.
Tim.
Eventually the Space Wolves get wind of it, and like the main force comes back, and they're just beating the shit out of Fenris. I think Ahriman ends up going toe to toe with the chapter master and slays him. All the while, the 1,000 Suns are getting their ass handed to them. They're like, "All right, moral victory done," and they get out of there.
Oh, we won. We murdered 3/4 of your force, and you took nothing. No, we won.
No, it's cool. They were just dust.
Yeah, they were
right. So I had a soul once.
Shut up.
Reunited.
Shut up.
I think they had like another raid during the Black Crusade. And, so
which is currently ongoing, and it's very interesting to see where that's going.
Well, I mean, there's rumors that they're going to have Have you seen like the pictures that GW released of the battle over Fenris?
By the way,
coming down, so that might be the next time they're going to be coming into Fenris.
By the way, the marketing GW is doing right now, and their reaction to internet leaks is phenomenal.
Super on point.
Like, you saw this on the internet? We're just going to show it to you now. And by the way, sisters.
No, they didn't even do that. Right? Oh, so you found a box art. That's nice. Oh, here's some 1,000 Suns sprues. Oh, by the way, here's this artwork from the next book we're doing. Oh, and Plastic Sisters. Okay, great. Bye.
And also, here's a fully painted model in better detail than you're going to find on that crappy cell phone picture that guy sent.
Yeah. So
which totally takes the steam out of the people making the leaks because now they don't get their internet fame
or
that they
what's
want.
better is if you find a leak, you put it out there and GW is going to show you all the goods.
But I love the fuck you-ness about it. Like, you think you found something cool. No, this is all stuff we have that's cool. We're not even telling you about the good stuff. So
exactly. And I also love that they're like, with the self-deprecating where it's like nothing's supposed to go into this bucket unless it's been totally turned into dust and you can't see it at all. Do not leak to the internet.
But no, Ted,
Thank you,
that was some awesome information
Yes, that
about
was
Thousand
fantastic.
Suns.
Thank you.
I
Yes.
learned a lot.
Yeah.
If you want to know some more and you want it drier and not quite as fun, Lexicana, all those other places you can comb for more information.
Which is
But
where I got most of it.
but you made it fun and palatable. So it's what we do. We take good
Learn about
information.
IKEA.
We take good information. We remove half the facts and add dick jokes.
We're like the Schoolhouse Rock of 40K.
Okay, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna do a modified Price is Right
Ooh.
with a time traveling twist.
Oh, shit.
And then we're probably going to wrap it up because we're
Okay.
running long.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll be right back.
Cowabunga, dude! Shredding these sweet waves with my board is super rad. But babes can't stand a thirsty bro, brah. That's why I drink generic soda, now with electrolytes. Chicks dig it. Generic soda causes heart disease, lung disease, pancreatic cancer, Alzheimer's, erectile dysfunction, and is the leading cause of thirst. Generic soda may dissolve solid surfaces if contact persists longer than 3 seconds. The Food and Drug Administration does not recognize generic soda as edible. Do not dispose of generic soda down drains or near animals.
All right. So, I went online trying to find that special edition Legion of the Damned guy. I was really excited. It took me a while, but I found one, and I got bid out at the last minute. So I was going to come.
If you're out there listening,
yeah,
don't sleep at night.
that
It's coming
person
for you.
So I guess this is Friday. So I guess that would be almost a week ago by this point on a Sunday. Yeah, you should hate yourself.
Yeah, if you bought it a week ago,
You know what I'm talking about?
Sunday.
The one that had been stripped. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
stripped. Yeah.
yeah,
We don't like you.
Nobody,
But keep
likes
listening.
you. Yeah, but yeah, keep listening to
Doing
this. if you're
John.
listening. Yeah, over there, John. God,
Technical difficulties. Keep on.
God,
Wow.
you're popping like a fucking
Yeah, dude.
Pop, 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 pop,
All right.
pop.
Well, we can get rid of that in
Yeah,
post.
yeah, because
Maybe we
it
should
just
leave it in
got.
post because
Yeah, maybe it's-
nobody would understand what we're.
Yeah, I was
gonna
gonna say after our complaining here. Now that's not gonna go.
Whoa!
Hey
And
now,
he does that thing.
Whoa,
again,
nanny, nanny.
which will be fixed in post.
not for my ears. It won't.
It's twice now.
Yeah, come on, John.
My iPad is acting up.
Oh, okay.
It's only an Air 2. It's not Pro. Okay, I'm sorry. So I want to do. Oh, in fact, that's the wrong song.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say.
All right, there we go. So we're doing something a little bit different
Yeah.
because I want to play too, and I can't play too if I'm the one looking at the eBay ad.
Oh.
So what we're gonna do is we're taking the Burning of Prospero box.
Okay.
Let me turn this down a little
How
bit.
much is it on eBay?
We are going to guess how much each of the things is going to sell for on eBay, and then by the time we come back, we will have a winner for the next time.
Bizarre.
Bizarro. It's future eBay prices, right?
Oh, wait. So it's supposed to drop. It's supposed to be announced on the 22nd officially, right?
Yes.
And then it'll show up on eBay probably the 23rd.
Probably the 15th or 16th. Yeah.
And then it actually won't be shipped until the 28th or 29th. All right. Gotcha.
Okay,
But
all right.
well,
This is
whenever
great.
it's released, this is what we're doing. Where we're going to guess how much it is.
So does this mean our listeners are going to have to listen to all of our episodes until we...
Oh my God! It's almost like a hook.
What? We've
Someone
never
took
done that before.
dirty marketing.
Someone took a podcast marketing webinar.
Did you really?
No,
Oh my God.
no. Sadly, I have things to do that are more important than that. Obviously, if anyone's listened to us before, we don't market.
Obviously.
or at least not well.
Oh, well. So let's start off with the most fabulous custodes.
Mm-hmm.
You get 5 of these fabulous custodes in a box.
Just quick question: do
Yeah.
they come fully oiled?
Well,
oiled
that's part of
custode
the
armor.
painting. I will be painting my custode.
Now, when Phil talks about oiled, we know that he has a different definition considering his Land Raider. so
I will say,
perhaps not, Phil. You're going to do that yourself.
I've already split a box with Josh, and where he's taking some
That
stuff,
hasn't
I'm
come
taking
out
some
yet.
stuff. Well, I know, but we're like, I want this, so I want like the custodes, I want the Tartaros guys, I want 10 Mark III guys. I
Do you
could
really?
give 2 shits by the rest.
What, whoa. So you're giving him the sisters and the 20 dudes?
Yes, and the characters.
Okay.
Because he can make more money selling the characters and the sisters than anything else.
Josh?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but I've already split that up. But one of my custodes, and this is, if you watch certain YouTube shows, will be called Kitten. That will be the squad leader, and he will have gloss varnished skin.
Nice.
He will be properly oiled.
Oh my god.
You need to use those the gloss washes that they have
that I
from
use for my
GW.
Tyrannic
there you
claws.
go.
Yeah, I will be doing that.
Just give it time. There'll be enough pepperoni jizz all over pizza
So
grease.
we have 5 custodes. Comes with 2 weapon options. Larger than the average Space Marine.
Yeah.
How much is one squad going to be on eBay?
I'm gonna say probably about. Oh, okay. So the whole thing is at about $150 for the box. Right?
Retail's $150.
$150.
Ding. I'm gonna say.
You don't really have to ding in him. He's kind of a dick move when Ted's in the middle of a sentence.
I'm sorry. I thought we dinged. Isn't it supposed to be ding and then you go?
Okay, ding, go.
No,
Yeah.
fine. No,
Right,
sorry.
but
No,
I
you
think
go, Ted. Fine.
If you didn't
Now I feel
interrupt
like a
him,
dick.
you would. I don't want to go. I don't want to play. I don't wanna,
No, Ted's going home. Come back, Ted.
you already dinged. If I say anything, you're gonna get
That's
credit
true.
for it.
Yeah, go.
okay,
Go,
fine.
you dinged. Go.
I'm going to say
You just peed on it.
$20.
$20.
$20. Do you even be eBay, bro?
I'm gonna say 50. Ding 50.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh, damn. I was going to say 50. I'm going to say.
You didn't ding, John. That's why you got to ding.
Okay, well, I don't play this game. I make the game.
Well, now you've
I don't
learned.
play the shitty game that you guys play.
Well, I'm going to say 45.
Oh,
Whoa.
damn.
Okay.
Quickly change that
the
for
dollar.
zero.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Well,
Maybe
okay,
I-
so you have one unit that's not available anywhere but this box. You
Yeah.
only get
For
5
now,
models in
I
the box.
Give them like 3 months, and they're totally going to be available.
People have been
in their own
looking for
box.
custodes for 30 years. You think they're going to wait 2 months?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Well, and you got to also look at like the Cataphractii Terminators that came out.
Oh, yeah,
like
those-
now like they're more expensive than the regular Terminators. So it's I don't know what is it, 60, 65, something like that. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, it doesn't.
I guess you're right.
Who knows?
So something in there. But anyway,
Okay.
the next up is the Sisters of Battle. No, Sisters
Silent.
of Silence. They are not Sisters of Battle.
No.
Salt
Ding
box
40.
time.
They've got worse haircuts.
Ding 40.
Okay.
There you go.
Dang, Ding 40.
I know those haircuts are so.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're cool.
They're cyberpunks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I just like I just hated the 80s, and I think
Ding,
like anytime there's
35.
like a big ponytail. Oh, what? 85?
35.
35?
Ding 25.
I'll never give Phil anything to sell on eBay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, seriously.
Or hey, if you're putting stuff on eBay, Phil, let me know. so you're saying the cyberpunk haircuts and all that
Yeah,
other
I
fun
was never a big fan of
I just feel like if you're going to pay $50 for the 5 guys from the box, why not just buy the box set?
because they don't want all the extra ones.
Right.
But then they could just. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Maybe I'm not of the proper mindset for eBay.
well, I think like the thing with these is like individual components are always more expensive than they are, and the sum.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
They're more than the sum of their parts.
Yeah, I
combined,
guess
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you're true. You're totally right. You're
Okay.
totally
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay. So we're gonna move on. Tartaros Terminator armor. You get 5 in the box. There is heavy weapon options in there. I will say, Phil, a squad of regular Terminators is $50.
Ding, $437.
Jesus. You just took our advice and turned up the volume
All right. So Phil,
up to 80 of it.
$437. Yeah.
Is that really?
No, I don't know.
no, I put it down. You dinged. You dinged.
I did ding, so yeah, it's too late. I dinged.
No.
Well, okay, no,
okay,
no,
fine,
no,
ding,
no,
fine.
no. Hey, so you all come
so
back
do
with
ding
your.
backwards.
There
you go.
You're all going to come back with your
David Lynch.
proof, and all I need from
Dinged. Is that ding backwards?
So all I need when you guys come back with your proof, I just need you holding the paper, showing me the picture of the eBay listing with that price. We
I'm
never
gonna list it, and then I'm gonna bid that, and then just cost myself whatever the cut that eBay takes just to win this.
Except the problem is because you're bidding so low, like you're not going to be able to do it. Like John or I'm going to be able to because I'm rolling high.
Well, that's what you're gonna do. You're just gonna watch him and just watch you be like, "Oh man, this one's going low. I'm upping this to 50. It's worth it for me."
I can't wait for Sierra to like, Ted, why did you spend $500 on models?
because Phil can win.
So I can win. What did you win in that competition? The respect of my friends. No, you lost the respect of your friends. Ted. I'm a failure.
But what I was going to say,
Never
about,
feel like you'll lose our respect by spending money on plastic models. That's never something that will ever happen.
what I was going to say about
late.
that 437 guess, I never said anything about pro painted models.
Oh,
pro
girl.
painted, yeah, pro painted
The
Tartarus.
box won't even be available at this point, let alone painted.
You've
Has
seen
that
pro
ever,
painted quality.
has that ever stopped the internet? Yeah.
All right.
So the PP version.
47.
That's what I call propane.
So what was
Time
your
at time.
bid?
Oh, okay, I'll say $76.
$76.
Yeah.
I'm
Ding
gonna go
45.
Oh,
You didn't ding,
ding
bitch.
55.
Okay.
What the hell, you sons of bitches? First you're telling me, oh, you're underselling, and then I fucking come in with like a bid that seemed appropriate for what you all were talking
Dude,
about.
it's like
No,
150
Phil, that was
bucks.
inappropriate.
It's like $150 for the box while you spend
Oh, you
75.
son of a bitch!
Okay, this one's gonna be a little
First
different.
off, like Phil, if you've ever listened to our episodes, you know I lose at this game every time. So the fact that you've been listening to me shows
I'm
that
usually pretty
I'm
good.
not finishing this sentence because it's too rude.
Pretty good. See, the problem is I'm usually really good at judging the pro-painted versions. I'm not used to this like bare plastic on sprue version.
We were gonna do just 10 Mark III Marines. We're gonna assume it's sold as a squad.
Okay.
So just 10 Mark III Marines.
Ding, $40.
Okay, 40.
It's not as hilarious as
Yeah.
Ding 30.
Ding 35.
Isn't that the same price as a regular tactical squad?
Yeah, but they're Mark II.
Yeah, but that's why I think it's going to be more.
But you have less weapon options.
What? Yeah, but what?
I
still
think there's going to be
gonna
more of them available.
Yeah.
So
How
I think
how
it's
much
going to be
would 10
supplied.
dudes made out of resin
here's
from
the thing:
Forge
is
World cost with that?
no one's going to give a shit about the
$900?
Marines. People are buying it for the Custodes, the Sisters, and the Tartarus armor.
I think you're wrong.
Well,
No, I'm buying them
Says
for
the
the,
guy.
I'm
says
buying
the,
them for the
I was
Mark
gonna
III
say,
armor.
so the guys who just painted 50 Bolter Marines
Yeah,
for
I don't
his
need
40K for his 30K army.
I don't need fucking bolter guys anymore.
Yeah, I know, but there's tons of people out there who are like, "Oh, this is going to be my foray into 30K, and I may as well get like an
that
assload of
rhymed.
these dudes."
What the
Wow. Good for
All right. We have Gregor the Fell-Handed. I'm going to stop the music. That is not Bjorn. It will never be Bjorn. Fell-Handed is a title, not his fucking name.
Okay. So it just means he
Tell
slaps
that,
bitches.
tell that to his mom, Jeannie Fell-Handed.
What?
Wow, that felt really.
Yeah, that was lame. That was lame.
You guys are
20.
supposed to laugh. You guys are
We're
supposed to
moving
laugh
on.
at my damn jokes.
Moving on.
So yeah, how much for Gregor the Fell-Handed?
Is it 20?
20.
15.
I love that you went
1750.
You son of a bitch.
Oh my god.
All right, okay, and then last but by
it's
no
basically
means
one.
least, Araman.
Oh.
Biz 25.
Biz at 40. No, Biz 35.
You got double.
Well, the first one was me. The other one was Phil.
Oh, yeah,
The first
okay.
one was Phil. The other one was
What? No, it was not.
No
Oh,
one
yeah.
saw anything
Yeah.
different.
Damn it. I'm going to bzz 26. Suck it, John.
Oh man, you know what I think we'll do with
It's
these
going to be
actually?
exactly 25. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
with these, I think what would be better
Or
is
25.50.
when it gets announced and it comes on eBay, I'll find a listing and then I will post that listing for these things on our Facebook page, so you can follow along and see where it goes.
you
So
go.
You know what?
yeah,
The crazy thing about this is like if you at different points in time, they're going to be like more or less because like like the one thing doesn't necessarily. Every time I go on to like look for a Reaver Titan, like the armor cast one, like it might be $190, it might be $400,
So-
it might be $500.
so that's why I'm going to pick one from each category.
that
and
best
then-
exemplifies your numbers.
And then we will, and then we will watch. It will literally be the first ones I find. I'm very lazy in finding these things.
I want to see the sisters one that's going up there for $473.
It's like, oh, I should have picked that.
Yeah, the
Oh, even though that was a Terminator.
Oh, the
just so we're
Terminator. Damn it.
Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. Not in real life, just in fake podcasting terms.
I'm gonna pee.
And we're going to be right back.
All right, bye.
Fear consumed my every waking moment. It wasn't rational, but there it was, ruining my life. Then one day I came across a book called How to Be a Cheating Asshole. From the very first chapter, it helped me to confront my fear head on. In a world filled with easy answers and cheap solutions, How to Be a Cheating Asshole showed me that the way out of my despair was to use loaded dice and not declare what I'm rolling. Its message was so strong and so real that it put me on the road to a happier, more fulfilling life. And it made my fear a part of my past.
Stop by your local retailer now for a copy of How to Be a Cheating Asshole. Also available in audiobook, read by somebody who only sounds like Donald Trump.
All right, we're back.
Hi, how you doing?
It's been a nice long one today.
Yeah.
It's been good.
That's what she said.
Phil, you've never heard that.
Wow.
The ding means I'm correct.
Damn.
So we have our homework for Price is Right.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Next episode, we're going to go back to the books now that Ted and I are finished convention season. You sound fucking surprised.
Yeah, no, you guys can
discuss it.
Ted's like, we just discussed it 2 minutes ago. And Ted's like, oh, we are. Oh, that's amazing. We're going to be reading Legion of the Damned, the Space Marine battle novel. Get it back to some bolter porn.
Yay! I'm excited about this one.
It
so you've
is,
already read this.
Yeah, it is.
Tell us all about it.
It's fantastic.
So yeah,
all right. So settle in for Papa Phil's story time.
I've used that Darth Vader no button so much today. Yeah. So that's gonna be episode 35 there. Me, Phil, and Ted talking about Legion of the Damned. And yeah, so thank you for joining us today and listening to us, Papa Ted talk about 1,000 Suns. I was gonna say Legion of the Damned. I know you did in the cut segment.
We've had a flood of new listeners, by the way.
We have had so yeah. Thank you for coming in.
I was completely surprised to see that. I was like, oh, we're a failing podcast. I'm gonna hang it up and start my My Little Pony podcast, my Brony podcast.
Okay. Wait, you don't have one of those on the side? I got one of those on the side.
Oh.
Brony
invite
rules.
Me to be part on it.
It's called Brony rules.
But no, it's great. It was really awesome. Like people going back all the way to the beginning.
Yeah,
it's probably all those
we're getting some
photos John's been posting.
We're getting some like really
Facebook
crazy
page.
listens. Like there's an episode that Ted really likes, I think, and it was like our lowest listened episode ever.
Aww.
But it's got like a ton of listens this month.
Yeah,
it's almost like Ted is downloading that one specifically, so you can be like, hey.
Well, I've been trying to get us to go back and revisit the Xenos. That's one way to do it. Hey, John, look, we got 800 downloads just yesterday.
Just yesterday. On that one episode I said was good. Look, it was good.
Let's do nothing but Xenos episodes.
But yeah, so I guess we're just going to call it a day.
Okay.
Hey, and guys, send in, if you have ways that we didn't talk about how to avoid burnout, please send them to us. Let us know. If you have thoughts about 1,000 Suns, let us know. Contact details are, of course, at the end of the podcast.
I want not naked pictures. I want pictures of you not burning out. So whatever weird thing it is that you don't do to burn out.
So you're looking for selfies of people doing things not to burn out.
Yes.
Please, no masturbation pics.
No.
And also send us your best surf rock 40K themed band names ever. Send us a couple of those.
I want 40K band names. I don't even care about surf rock. Surf rock had bonus points, but I want 40K band names sent.
There we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
all
thank
right.
you so much for joining. Thanks for listening to
Episode
Papa Ted talk
Papa
about
Ted story time.
Yeah, One Nut and all that. All right, it's good to be back, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for joining us, Ted. It's been very nice having you this episode. We Ted and I are free of convention season again until February. When Ted and I will both be done at LVO, Las Vegas Open.
Yeah.
Come up, say hi, buy us drinks.
Phil
Well,
will
buy
not
me
be.
drinks.
Phil will
Buy.
not Unless you want to send Phil about $600.
Yeah.
Then we can.
Then I will
fly him
totally
down.
be there for you.
Yeah. So come buy us drinks. Buy Ted a drink, and he'll give it to me, and that'll be fine.
All right.
And come say hi. But yeah, I've been John.
Ted.
Phil.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode of Mob Rules has been brought to you by Mob Rules Media. Please join our Facebook group and be part of the conversation at facebook.com/MobRulesAK. You can also email us at themob@tophat-arts.com. Thanks for checking us out, and we will see you in 2 weeks.